I was looking over my notes too the other day when you guys hit level 4. I was really not too far off, but you'll get an extra card to your decks too.
Nice. Oh, when we hit 4?
Yeah.
Nice.
And then I'll let you guys keep track of it, but if you ever hit +4 for your initiative, that as well, an extra card. From that point forward.
Oh yeah,
Then you get multiple actions in a turn. That's pretty cool.
Yep. Sort of like a bunch
off
of
from that.
Basically like a bunch of actions or a bunch of rounds all within one round really is how it'll be handled. But you might have back-to-back turns if you're lucky, or other odd goodies in there. Alright, let's see. Where's the recap? Wasn't too much last session. You guys started trapped within the room below the Waterhouse bathhouse. You thought you might have to take in hand or something in order to get out of there. I believe, Mithra, you used your mage hand spell to cast it on the other side of this door, give it a knock, and get it to open up. Excuse me. Out in the main room, there was that room that had the doors for Baal, Bane, and Miracle. They're various gods or followers of the Dead Three, a cultist group that you've been not really investigating, but seems to be cropping up. Out there is when a coyote and a woman who called herself Lieutenant came through. They mentioned that upstairs in the main bathhouse, the way you had intended to leave this place was absolute chaos since they had people on their trail. You could hear other people splashing in behind them and chasing them down. So she suggested you move further into this complex and try and find a different way out. Coyote used his sniffer, suggested a direction, and off you guys went. That put you into a room where there was a sorceress who looked like she was performing some sort of ritual on a sacrificial victim. She had a large, brutish man that wore a bucket as a helm that was sort of like her bodyguard. Started a brief fight with those. Weren't able to save the man, but you guys saw his skeleton starting to rip free from him, much like you had once before. It seemed to be some sort of demonic ritual of some sort. Everybody came up and down a few times. You eventually killed things. She animated the large statue in the corner, which came through the door. Smacked Quinn around. Coyote was nearly killed in a single blow. He's been out conscious. You were able to stabilize him and get him up and going, but he is basically mostly unconscious besides, till now anyway, he's a 1 hit point, but not looking good. You were able to take those out, went through the door. You guys, I believe it was Krieg and Malika, you guys had been searching for somebody called Mortlock, or this fellow who had some connection to this place, some connection to that letter that you had, Krieg. Coming through one of the doors, you saw who you assumed to be Mortlock, this huge giant of a man with a club. Dead bodies spattered around his feet. There was one more man he was fighting who he quickly crushed the skull of. And he turned and seemed to recognize you, Krieg, almost as if you'd been old friends. Seemed to clap you on the shoulder and talk about the good times. You have no clue who he is, though, on your side. You don't remember him. With a bit of amnesia. You could hear the people coming up from behind, so you guys decided to jet it out of there. He knew a way through the tunnels and then through the sewers down to the docks of the bay for Baldur's Gate, and he suggested you go there. You guys, with little choice, decided to kind of follow along and get the hell out of here for the time being. Let's see. He had to show you guys out of the complex. Led you through the tunnels. From there, once you got out of that, he was headed to a tavern called the Low Lantern to hide out and sort of talk for the moment. You guys didn't really have a chance to talk with him. He asked him a few questions, but he said to blew everything off and turned trying to get out of this place that you were in. Reyes went with you, as well as Coyote, and then the 4 of you. And basically, that is where we ended it, is outside of the Low Lantern Inn. I think that is it, really. Anything else you guys want to add? I think we're good. Alright. So if Dan hops in, cool. If not, it shouldn't be too big of a deal. I need to cut this over. Let me just bring up my session notes and we can get started. All right. So as we start up, then it will be late evening here in Baldur's Gate. You guys are on the dock, so you can smell the dead seaweed and that fishy, stale air. But people are still working on bringing fish out of the different fishing boats. A lot of them on ice. A lot of people moving from CD tavern to CD tavern. Most of them look drunk and under the weather and not to the best, but it's just the beginning of what should be a fun night for all these sailors who spend days at sea. You probably recognize or remember some of these places, Krieg. Probably Quinn as well. It'll be quite new in this area for Mithra. The Low Lantern Inn, it is a small boat that is actually on the water itself. It's not used for fishing or anything like that anymore. But it does occasionally go out for small cruises around the bay and luncheons in the afternoon, mostly by drunken sailors who really just want to party out on the river itself. But here in this evening, it's called the Low Lantern, as it has this really pale yellow lantern that hangs off the front of the bow real low, almost touching the water. That's usually when that is lit, it is up in dock and open for people to stop in and have a drink or do whatever they do. It's not the most seedy place. It's not upscale by any means at all, and they don't have very good to drink, but it's also not down to the level of the Bloody Stool either. And you'll see Mortlock, he has this huge club that he has swung over onto his back. He wears a pair of torn up breeches that kind of almost like shorts on him. These thick, heavy leather boots. He also has a heavy leather jacket that he's been wearing, but the front of it is opened up just a bare chest. He's bloodied up pretty bad from all these small cuts and scrapes. Looks like most of these people you were fighting with had daggers and rapiers, small, thin-bladed weapons, but he doesn't seem too badly injured at all. Pretty nasty gash under one eye. He's ugly as hell, though. Just you can see you almost think it might be mutations or something. One of his face is sort of saggy, one eye bulges out a little bit. You notice one hand, the fingers are real thick and almost like little muscular arms for fingers. His other one, too, is sort of the same way, but it's a little bit crooked. Everything just seems a little bit grotesque about him. But he does have a beautiful, pearly white smile that he always seems to be flashing. Clap a hand on your shoulder, Krieg, and sort of give you that jolly smile. God, I miss the good times, Krieg. I miss the good times bashing skulls with you. And remember that time we went out to the bay and almost caught that gator, wrestled him to the ground? You don't.
I don't have a clue. Apparently, I miss them too.
We had a hell of a time. Well, like I said, we'll get you caught up here, and perhaps you can introduce me to your friends and this lovely lady here. He looks at Rhea, who gives him this nasty scowl. You notice she quickly wraps this cloak that she's been carrying around her, covering up this insignia of the Hell Riders that's on her armor, and sort of pulls the cowl up to almost like she's just trying not to be seen or noticed around here. And Mortlock will step across this deck and down onto the main floor of this boat, open up the door that leads down inside. You can hear a cheerful bit of singing and chattering, the rolling of bones and dice down below. It motions you all to go ahead. We'll hold the door to go last if you guys go ahead.
Yeah, I head on in.
Yep, me too.
Yep, I'll follow the group.
They close the door behind you and it comes down. Below, there's maybe 30, 40 people spread out amongst this place. It's not real big, so it's a little bit crowded. Thick with cigar smoke and tobacco smoke. The ale here, you can smell it in the air. It smells like your typical bar of stale beer and booze and wine. A few shattered glasses on the floor, a couple wine glasses rolling around. It's a little bit rowdy, but not too bad, not too bad. He quickly just kind of shoves through this horde of people and plops down on the seated around table, waves his hand over for a few drinks. And he motions, looks out this window, this portside window. It's only a matter of time before they come find me. but we got maybe an hour or two. What in
Who's
the hell?
looking for you?
Well, those folks who were trying to kill me. So, yeah, we'll get to that in just a moment.
Oh, that was us.
Well,
Actually forgot, like, if I knew you, I didn't remember. And we took a contract to cut your hand off. Take it to your brother. Sorry. Unless you're not needing that hand, that's 50 gold.
He says, wait. Getting a bit ahead of yourself, Krieg. But that is interesting indeed. And he'll lean back in his chair a little bit, and you can see he shrugs his shoulders and pulls this heavy jacket he has off, and puts it around the back of his coat. Underneath, he has just a torn up, simple white tank top that's all gross and nasty. It's ripped across the center, which still reveals his chest. Both of his arms are really grotesquely twisted, almost this purplish color. The fingers are a little bit knotted, and just everything about him is just a little bit messed up. Until you lean forward. Well, we have a bit of chatting to do then, Krieg. You and I, we go way back. But before we get to that, what in the nine hells were you even doing in that place? You only came there for me?
Aye.
How did you know I was going to be there?
Well, that's where your brother Emmerich said you would be, so we went looking.
Emmerich, that pathetic human being. No worthless maggot. Then what, the rest of you have a contract too? You want one of these hands?
Well, the story originally starts with our friend Krieg here having a piece of parchment, a clue to the whereabouts, which we linked back to the bathhouse and linked to Emmerich, which led us to Emmerich, who then paid for us to take care of you. We didn't really know what we were getting into, but we were following a lead for Krieg's history, I believe, and
Aye. And I figured I'd kill two birds with one stone. Needed to talk to you because everybody said that was a parchment from you. And your brother happened to offer us money to take your hand, so I figured find out about this parchment, and maybe make some money in the process.
Well, yeah, I guess I can't fault you for that. I mean, hell, I would have done the same thing, but not for a friend. No. Isn't what the hell happened to you? What's up with your eye there, Krieg? You look like you took a nasty blow.
Oh, aye. That was part of the penalty. I killed this fairy princess, right? Or I think she was a queen, maybe a princess. But they stole my name, and they bashed me right good in the side of the face here. And the eye doesn't close so well no more. It gets a bit weepy sometimes, but not that I'm crying. It's a long story.
Well, perhaps it'll be a story for another time, then.
Aye. But it landed me in the scar, or the iron scar of the prison. And I was there for a good long time, and this piece of paper came to me with an address and perhaps a link to my past. And I saw it was a picture of her.
Yeah, he'll hold this out, hold his hand out, like, take it if you'll offer it.
Yeah.
Look at it. Says, I remember this, Krieg, I remember this. Damn near 13, 14 years maybe.
Can you explain why it looks like me?
Says, I'm the artist. That's certainly my drawing. You can look right here. It even has the inscription of my initials.
So what, were you watching me?
Nah. Never seen you a day in my life, lass. But you know
why
who did?
Did you draw me?
It was simply a job. A bit of a sketch on parchment of one of my friends. He always mentioned that he had these visions, that he had these dreams, and he was told that if he got it down on paper, he might be able to understand it better, might be able to find a pattern in these dreams.
Can I use perception to tell if he's lying?
You can use insight.
Okay. Sorry, I just want to pull up my modifier. Come on, new dice, don't let me down. 17.
Looks genuine. And he'll smile as you sort of look at him. Says, I know what you're thinking. Thinking I'm full of a rat's ass and don't know what I'm talking about. Trying to hide something a bit from you, not quite telling you what I know, but
100%, that's exactly what I think.
this is the person you need to talk to. Sitting right there. He points at you, Krieg. Says,
I've talked to him lots and he can't remember a thing.
So it seems to be the ways. You had me draw this. You kept talking about her, dreaming about her, saying that must have some sort of connection, that you must know her, or something. This was a long time ago it was. We were just young ones running the streets causing a bit of ruckus, and you know what we used to do, Krieg. Used to stand outside there, usually the Bloody Stool or one of those shitholes like that. And we'd wait for those drunkards to come out, and we would just beat the shit out of them. That was good times. Yes, there was nothing like a good drunken fight.
Yeah, that's a great reunion, but I mean, I feel like we need to get to the bottom of what the fuck's going on right now. Why are you here?
So apparently it seems I somehow sent myself this piece of paper.
I don't know where it came from after that. You took it with you, and I ain't saw it since, my friend. Haven't saw it since.
So
Well,
my
in
question,
Krieg, you have some explaining to do.
I know, I can't wait for me to be interrogated or spill the beans. I'm waiting.
I'm more worried about the fact that your family has a horrible death cult underneath their bathhouse. Is this something that you're a part of, Mortlock, or what the fuck is going on with that?
Oh, don't I have the stories for you? What is your name, girl?
My name's Quinn.
Quinn.
This is my brother, Malachi.
That's the quiet one with the just one eye.
Well, nice to meet the both of you. And you, my dear lady, what is your name? Looks over at you, Mithra.
It's Mithra.
Beautiful. The stories I have. It seems we have a bit of a connection in our desires, it seems. Of course, I don't want to give you my hands. At least not now. You can certainly try to take them. It will be a hell of a fight. And it might be a bit of fun. Perhaps later, but... yes. The cultists. The Dead Three. Let me guess, that's who you're talking about, eh?
Indeed.
Well, there's plenty of information I could give you about them, but... Well, what would you like to know? Without just spending hours chit-chatting and divulging this information, perhaps it might be better to fill in the blanks of what you need.
Well, I think it's interesting that around the same time El Terrell goes to shit, that your mother has suddenly risen to power, and I also think it's kind of curious that this isn't the first time that I've heard of the Dead Three. Back when we were in the Iron Scar prison, we also were having dealings with them, so I'm thinking that there's something connected to all this, and I would like to get to the bottom of that.
I mean, that's a hell of a coup if they take out the entirety of El Terrell just to snuff a duke so that your mother could step into the spot.
Sorry. Got to be front with you, my friends. I don't exactly know what's going on. In fact, that itself is part of the reason I was down there in those dungeon corridors anyway. Somebody was put a hit on my head. I'm guessing it was Amrit, considering tried to hire you as well. sent those bastard assassins after me. Should have hired more, of course. Should have got some better people than those pathetic fools. But
So are you with your mother in this death cult? Or are you
I am
on your
not
own?
with. She is nothing more than a whore. I don't have any giving her feelings for that wench. Hell, when I was but a fetus in her womb, she tried to sell my soul to the devils. He sort of looks at his grotesque form, these nasty knotted arms he has. She was a fool for that, and so was the devil. Happened down the wrong path, he did. He says, no. My mother is hiding something. Amric. Yes. And Thirstwell. They're up to something. I don't know what. They don't like me very much poking around either. She climbed to power a few months back. Do you remember Ulder Ravengard? He was the Grand Duke, the head of the Flaming Fist here in Baldur's Gate. Perhaps the name rings a bell.
I imagine Quinn would know, but
yes,
I,
for
as
sure.
a player, do not. You said Olven?
Older, Ulder, Ravengard. He was the Grand Duke of Baldur's Gate and the head of the Flaming Fist Guild. Says, yes, Older. I'm sure maybe you don't quite remember him as well, Krieg, but Quinn Malachi. As you both know, he was a bit of a stubborn old man set in his ways. Wasn't one to go out and make treaties, pacts, deals with these other towns, especially not Elturel, all them goody to shoe pussies out there riding around on their horses, thinking they're all good and righteous. Alder would have none of that. But it's curious. Thavius Krieg, the High Overseer of Elturel, demanded to have visitation with Alder, demanded that the men go out, have a few chats, sit down for a few drinks, and perhaps break out some sort of peace treaty. Alder would have none of it, but it was my mother. The wench. She insisted, she demanded, she threw a tantrum until the man went and did his thing. And so, Alder left. To appease her, to appease the others, to appease the city of the rumors that he didn't care. So he left, went to meet Thavius Krieg at Elturel. Who knows where in the fuck he is now. Wherever that city went. Either case, Older's gone, and now the seat for the Grand Duke is open. I'll give you one guess what wench wants that.
Yeah, it's definitely seeming to add up pretty quickly.
Aye. That's math even I can do.
So it's the other two, Dillard and Belly, and the other Dukes. The three of them make up the Council of Four, but without somebody stepping in place as the Grand Duke and without another to join their ranks, they're just three-fourths of the four, I guess you could say. Porter's daughter, what is her name? I don't remember. Lydia, Laura, Yara, whatever it is, Porter, down in the jungles of Chalt to the south. She's supposed to be on her way, but that'll be a month's time or more before she gets back here. So now we are left with this, with the Flaming Fist without a leader, my mother charging for the Duke's seat, the dead three on a rampage through the city. Within the past few days, bodies are turning up everywhere, in the gutters, in the alleyways, in their own beds.
So who is currently leading the Flaming Fists then? I still see that they're operating, for better or for worse.
For worse, of course.
Definitely for worse. They tried to have us shoot innocent refugees off the wall.
I mean, they've always been a bunch of cocksuckers, money hungry anyways, but this is a bit extreme, I agree.
It's a play for power, as a show for who can reach the top the quickest. My mother, she's got the dead three under her purse, causing up a bit of a ruckus. My guess is she wants to sort of frame them to prove to the city that they have no right to be here now that their leader is gone, that they're nothing but tools and unfit for their jobs. They scrabble about trying to do what they can to stop the people being killed, to stop the influx of refugees from that shithole city.
But those people need help.
Everybody
There's a
needs
flood
help.
of demons coming up out of that hole that's left for Elturel. If they're coming this way, those people have nothing. They're just going to get chewed up and stomped on. And then it'll be more demons at the wall.
It's only a matter of time till that happens here.
So tell me, does your mother have the power to swallow up a whole fucking city and create demons spawning out of it? It seems...
Now that is a good question. I don't think so. But somebody does. All of this, you'll see Rhea to the side, looking rather nervous, but sort of listening to all of this quite intensely, making sure this cowl's pulled up and these garments are wrapped around her. And he'll look at her for a few moments, but turn back. She knows something. She didn't send Older there just on a peace treaty. Thavius Krieg, he didn't request the city's services or to have a fine dinner and a meal. It was a setup of some sort. Whatever it is, down in the depths beneath that bathhouse, there's something there, something they're hiding. There's clues or somebody or something. I was there to find it, but I don't have a chance to get through that on my own.
Well, I look to Rhea and say, and you, the Dark Brooding one, what is your play in this? You're clearly a Hell Rider, are you not?
And
You
what
were
is
following
that?
us earlier today. What's going on?
It's because your friend, brother, she looks at Malachi, spoke of Thavius Krieg. Shall I, Morlock, for a moment? Regardless of what this brute says about him, Thavius Krieg is a holy man, a follower of Torm, a priestess, and a paladin. He is a righteous man who only had the best at heart for the city and constantly wished for Baldur's Gate, this filthy cesspool of a city, to have trade, to have be open to welcoming to each other. He only wished to grow the empire, to put these sick people that live in the gutters on the street under his wings, help them, care for them, treat them right, get them to safety, health, protect them under the shining light of the gift. And then you have to sit here and say that my city was some sort of cesspool and filth. Look around you. Says Thavius Krieg was a good man. I am here because I too searched for him. I heard that he was able to get out of the city before it fell. I saw it with my own eyes, just a few leagues west of the city. It was a horrible thing. It wasn't something brought on by the gift or the Holy Land.
Straight. Your holy noble Thavius Krieg,
High Overseer,
that has this city that he cares about so greatly for, just happens to narrowly escape it being swallowed whole, and you think that he had no play in that? Doesn't that seem... You look like a smart individual, Rhea. You think that's not suspicious in any way?
So you're accusing me?
I'm not accusing you of anything. I'm just saying don't be so foolish and not come to the table with the facts here.
It would be blasphemous to think that somebody of his stature would go out of his way to kill hundreds, thousands, and walk out of the city alone.
Well, does anybody have control over the gift? Or can anyone affect it somehow?
It was a gift. It was the holy light of the city. It protected us from day, night, protected us from evil, undead. Since we don't control it, it is its own entity.
From what I heard, it turned black and fell.
It is what I saw as well. Did you see it?
No, I just heard. But if it turned black, maybe somebody took the gift back. Or whoever gave it was able to do something. If it's like you say, then I don't think some just plain folk could have done something like that to it.
Just know whoever did that had more power than I can fathom, more power than Dare I say even Thavius could manage.
The
He was
gift
quite a skilled priest and paladin of Torm, but I saw it just a few leagues west of the city. I was teaching a young man how to bind wounds and fix the heel of a horse that was injured. Simple training, really. I felt at first this rumble in the ground as I turned. The sun, it was as if somebody poured a pot of black ink over it. It just dribbled down the sides, caressed it. The whole thing, it went black. This holy light that it gave off became that of a dull, blue, purplish, dark, a sinister glow. In the city, it heaved. The palace had crumbled. The buildings crumbled. And the entire thing, it was as if something dragged it into the ground. It just sunk into the ground. I could hear the screams of the people miles away, but their screams were so loud.
Do you
Deafening.
think it could have been, I don't know, a representation of corruption? I mean, among some of the higher folks there in Elturel. Maybe they got just a wee bit too self-righteous.
What do you mean? How can one be too self-righteous? How can one care too much for the people and their friends?
Well, I mean, maybe they cared more about, I don't know, their position of power or money, and that corruption was reflected in the light of Elturel?
That's blasphemous. You speak crazy talk.
Oh, like crazy talk is the sun turning black and falling on a city. Aye, that's crazy, that is.
I know what I saw.
Just
The
saying,
city
perhaps
is
it's a reflection of the inner soul of some of the people there.
So are you just a mindless zealot that doesn't care about anything other than the word of your higher ups, or do you have any critical thinking skills whatsoever? Because the way I see it, whoever gave that gift to you, your god might have been pissed off at Thavius or somebody. So instead of just sitting here and saying blasphemy, 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 if you ever want to see him again or figure out what happens, I suggest that maybe you start thinking a little bit more than just following blindly.
I do not follow blindly, but I do not curse and I do not condemn those that I know are righteous. How can one person, why would a god, why would Torm tear the others who protect us, who fight for us, who train us, who give us these powers to heal and to cure, suddenly kill a city of thousands just because? Wouldn't they in turn take out those that are in power, those with greed, take away, strip them of their powers instead of killing the innocent? That is not what a god of loyalty and lawful.
That is a good question, but nonetheless, it happened. So we're not going to figure out the answer by just sitting here and accusing blasphemy from any suggestion. Regardless, it seems that Miss Lady Vinholt is the centerpiece of this.
Aye, that's a linchpin with some facts floating around in her noggin. I'd like to split it open and see what comes tumbling out.
Morlock leans forward and says, it ain't just my mother, it's my brothers as well, Amric Thirstwell, both of them. She has a strong affinity. They're her favorites. I'm nothing more than a cast-out wench, the grotesque brute of a man. They have nothing to do with me unless it's to try and kill me. So it's the three of them. The three of them, they're up to something. I don't think the other of the councils are much into this. Dylan is a good man, or Dillard, and Belen a bit naive perhaps, but she has the people at heart. Both of them are good folk, but I understand my mother's anger, her tantrums, her misery that she can cause with but a few words. They likely fear her more than their desire to.
But if
go
they're not
against her.
corrupt, if we can bring them concrete proof of what your mother and your brothers are up to, would they have the balls to go against her? Or is this just too fucked already?
Says, perhaps, but that is not quite how this city works. It's only a matter of time before she fills her role as the Grand Duke, and there is no way to unseat the Grand Duke unless it's death.
How does she become the Grand Duke? Do they, like, put it to a vote? Or does she just take it?
No, it comes to a bit of a vote amongst the higher folk of the city. You know, us down here in the lower city have no voice in the matter. But those in the upper city, the rich, those with their own private guards and such, they will put it to a vote.
So then those are the people that need to see this truth about who she is. That might go a whole long way in changing their minds about who sits up in the big chair.
Yeah, but that's not that easy. You see, my mother, she's quite a opportunist, quite an entrepreneur. It would be like trying to convince somebody that a diamond is nothing more than a rock.
You're trying to tell me that the city council of Baldur's Gate wouldn't give a fuck about a death cult?
If it's putting money in their pocket, then probably not.
Fair enough. That's actually very valid. So, what do we do then?
Whatever she has going, she's got the dead 3 in her purse. She wishes to frame, to outwit, to drive the Flaming Fist from the town. If she can do that, she can put their own guards as the town constables. And from there, she will slide into the Grand Duke once her men calm the situation and have this under control, which is nothing more than paying off the dead 3 a little bit more and having them stop their bit of murderous rampage. All will look quite good. The rich will continue to fill their coffers. The rabble will be down here as we always were, and she will become the Grand Duke. There will be a vote to see who fills the empty seat, and on it will go. There's something I don't quite get. I don't know why she wants to be the Grand Duke. Sure, there's a bit of power in that. She truly hated Older anyway. But she's not a person that would settle for just being the Grand Duke of the city. I mean, she already is basically ruling over it anyway. There's something else. Something she wants, something she desires, something she needs. That's what I was looking for.
Something that a whole city full of sacrifices to these death gods might give her. Because I kind of feel like if she's consorting with those fools, well then, what's to stop her from just passing the whole city off to them?
That is my greatest fear, my friend. That is my worry.
So then I guess we just get to take her head. I'm really starting to like this plan.
If she's trying to overthrow the Flaming Fist, do we think that there's anyone stupid or noble, and I kind of laugh at the noble, enough to actually go against her if we come to them? I know Older is now gone, but he must have some generals or somebody that would wish to uphold the Flaming Fist. If we come to them with a plot, maybe we'll find someone hot-headed enough to take threat to that and oppose her. And then if we can oppose her and expose her, then
it'll be easier to take her head.
Yes.
I don't rightly know. Rhea will sit back. I will not work with the Flaming Fist. A guild that works for money and to protect the people only for money and for their own sacrileges, not of loyal blood, in my opinion. They are already out for my head as it is, cornered me in an alleyway and tried to kill me just because of my armor. Says no. If I have it my way, I would kill them all, but I'm better than that. I will not work with those scoundrels and bandits, nothing more than thieves.
All right, well, that's interesting. You can take your past then and see if you can figure it out on your own. But the way I see it, if we're going to take on an entire cult, we need as much fucking help as we can get. So I can already see that, like, we're not on the same page here, us and Rhea. We value our lives over your noble, godly bullshit. So if you can't get beyond that, then maybe you should go figure it out by yourself. Because I want to live.
Can I interrupt and ask him a question?
Yeah.
Is he willing to listen to me?
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of like timid, but Can I bother you with a question? There's something that's really been bothering me.
Something that is but itching at your chin. Go ahead. What is your question? What is your question?
Look, I'm really sorry to bother you, but I couldn't help but notice that the so-called statues in the bathhouse seem to be dark elves that had been petrified. Can you tell me why that is? Am I in any particular danger? Do they hate dark elves in particular for some reason?
Yes. Well, my mother has what you might call a infatuation. I like to call it a fetish with dark elves. We have several butlers and others at the manor that are all dark elves like yourself. But you know what she doesn't like? The women of your kind. She finds them stubborn, strong-headed, finds them that they don't listen, that they think they have all the power. I hear from what I've learned of your kind that indeed that is quite a trait of your heritage. The women lead a matriarchy. So
It's true, unfortunately.
it's
That's
like
why
two
I'm on my own.
stubborn old crones that bash heads. She finds it easier to make them statues, make them pretty decorations around the bathhouse.
Do I have anything in particular to be fearful of?
And if she gets a hold of you, you'll just become another statue. I mean, I don't know if
That's
that's
not
something you
gonna
should
happen.
worry about. But if you're safe and careful, then, well, I wish you the best of luck. But if you have me by your side, I will happily kill her.
Thank you. A nice, smile at him and shake his hand.
It is my brother. You said you met Amric, Krieg.
Aye.
You and him were friends long ago as well. I don't think you probably remember that either. It's a shame you need to re-find your past, my friend. We had a lot of good times.
Aye. Thankfully, he didn't remember it either. Otherwise, that
Don't
would
be
have been
so
a strange
sure.
conversation. Oh, really?
Amric's a shifty one. He's quite intelligent, quite perceptive. He'll take advantage of anybody he can find, and a bit of a loan shark, a businessman. You didn't take a loan, did you?
Oh, no. Just the contract. He paid like a bit up front. That was more money I've had in my pocket than, I don't know, for like a decade. Listen,
And-
I still have some jingles. Ha 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 ha. He kind of shakes his.
And he'll hold his hand out. Let me see that money.
Yeah, he's got 5 and dump it into his hand.
He'll
I'm getting that back.
He throws it out the window beside him. You can hear it chink into the water. Says,
What the hell you do that for?
he has what you call a bit of a spell. Traces money around. At least carry that around. He knows where you are at all times. So all that did was give away our location.
Oh, bloody hell.
This is my other brother.
Oh no!
Malachi, get that coin out of your pocket, the ones he gave you.
I don't know what he has in his pocket, so I'll let him decide next time if he gets rid of it. But
yeah, I'm not sure how much he had left.
This is 2 brothers. Amric, a bit of a loan shark businessman, will take advantage of what he can, a bunch of thugs. And you don't pay up, he will hunt you down and kill you within a few days. Don't miss a payment on that. And, well, you're dead. Thirst, well, let's just say he spends 90% of his time in my mother's basement playing his games and talking with imps and mephits. They tend to flutter about the city, invisible little creatures that spy and seek out information for him. And my mother herself, usually she's at the main house, the estate, but she's been spending an awful lot of time at the bathhouse as of late.
Are you interested, Mortlock, in helping us with this?
Well, what is this? What is this that you wish to achieve? I have one simple goal, my friends. Perhaps it'll line up with yours, and if so, then I'm willing to lend a few clubs to the deal. But
What you got? Shoot.
I have no desire to be in the city any longer than I need to. My goal is to figure out what it is that my mother is hiding within the compound. Destroy it, get rid of it, sell it, get whatever the case is, so that she does not have her hands on it, them, who, what, whatever it is. To simply kill her if I get the chance, just like she would me. If my brothers are there, then they're just added a bounty. Since I don't wish to have any seat within the Council of Four, and what the rich folk do, I don't care less. And for all I care, they could become a Council of Two and leave it at that. Once that is done, I am leaving this shithole, and I am off to better places. I hear there's quite a stage of adventure down in the jungles, and well, maybe that's where my calling will go.
Right.
He'll turn to Rhea. And you mentioned something a bit interesting, girl. So you speak of Thavius Krieg and all of these high rolling powers and stature that he has. I saw the man, if that's who you're looking for. If you're here in the city looking for him, he's here. I've sought him. Trouncing about in the upper side of the city with 4 of my mother's private guards. He wasn't shackled. He wasn't guarded. He was simply out drinking and have a bit of fun, carousing. Maybe they were just nothing more than bodyguards. I find it rather curious that one of his stature would be pounding around with somebody like my mother.
Aye, and
So
out
this whole idea of his superiority, his loyalty, and his excellence is but a load of shit.
Let me guess, Rhea. That's just blasphemy.
He's got your, or she's got your number. Good one, Queen.
This doesn't make sense. That is, my entire life has been devoted to this man and to the gods and to Torm. For he's the one who ignited me. He's the one who's given me this gift to seek out for the people, to protect and to heal, to protect them. And she'll look at you, Krieg, and you have the gift from the gods as well. I've sought with your own when you cast those spells. So you don't get that from just anybody.
No, that's this voice inside my head. He really likes it when I get into fighting. Calls himself Tempest. It's a louder voice than the Fairy Queen.
Well, now imagine if Tempest turned his back on you and killed everybody you knew. And everybody told you that he was nothing but a lie and an evildoer and a saint and a sinner. And how would you feel? How would that make you feel, Krieg? Would you feel lost?
I would feel angry. I would feel like I needed a fight. And that's when he stands by me. When the fight is at the strongest moment.
I hope that you never have to go through a time when he leaves your side then and just leaves you really.
Torm is the god of loyalty, right?
Yes.
So I would
Loyalty,
look to her,
duty, and something else.
all right, so I would look to her and say that you said that you've been loyal all your life to Thavius, but correct me if I'm wrong, Torm doesn't believe that you should be just loyal blindly to one individual. I think the person that you owe your loyalty to right now, the duty that you serve and get your powers from, are the hundreds of thousands of people that are lost in El Terrell right now. Thavius is just another person. And you need to turn that blind devotion onto what your God has sent you to do and get to the bottom of what happened to those people. Now, I've seen you back there. You helped us out. I'm not stupid. We need all the help we can get here. But if you're just going to blindly follow this man that is obviously in some way incriminated in one way or another, there's just no way around it, then you're of little use to us, and you can carry on and figure this out. But if you want to work with us, then use that duty, that power that you got, and loyalty to get to the bottom of what happened here.
Queen's right. If you just follow orders blindly with their loyalty, that's just the same as embracing tyranny. Craig spits on the floor.
You must understand that I've been put in a situation that has completely turned everything that I believe in, everything that I have followed, everything that I have devoted the past 30 years of my life to.
What,
It's
to just
gone.
the one man? Or to your God? To the people that look to all of you for guidance and safety?
I understand what you're saying. I do. It's a good point.
Aye, Queen's got lots of good points. She's a smart cookie right there.
It's of no difference to me regardless. If you don't want to help, if you want to do things your own way, then go on. But I'm not going to storm in there blindly following one person that I've never met just because you say he's a good guy.
Because I refuse to believe that Thavius is behind this, but I also understand the powers of evil, the people and the things that corrupt others. Everybody makes mistakes. I don't believe he would fall for this, but there's no doubt that he's somehow been caught up in it. It is my job here, it is my duty to find that man. That is where my calling is, and that is what I'll do. If I have to fight by your side, I will do so, but I will not injure him until I have time to speak with him, to learn what happened.
I can agree to that. What about the rest of you? I think it's fair to at least let him speak and hear his side.
If he indeed has been corrupted or lost his way, perhaps I can...
I personally, I'll restrain him if he tries to hurt me, but I won't kill him unless I'm put in a position where I have no other choice and he's going to kill me. But I will give you every opportunity to at least talk to him, and if he's been corrupted, maybe we can fix him.
Mark my words, we shouldn't work with this girl. It's nothing against you, Rhea, but you're all the same, all you religious types. You just blindly follow things and you don't give a shit. She's no different than Dara, who threw her life away because her god told her that a couple of sick individuals wouldn't make it. That's all you people do. You people that follow your gods, you just are so eager to throw your life away. And I personally think that working with you would be dangerous.
Well, I have the same exact reservations about you, Quinn. But I have need to find this man. And you have need to have my connections as well.
And what connections do you have? So far, you've brought nothing to this table except the fact that Thavius is this great and utter high seer.
It's as if you need to get into the upper city. None of you have a chance in hell. I can get you in.
Why don't we have a chance in hell without you?
The city's quite simple, Mithra. The lower rabble, they keep to the lower city. The upper city is nothing but for those of wealth, of power, of influence. You stepping foot through those gates into the upper city is nothing more than a wish to be thrown in jail to rot, as far as they're concerned. Perhaps throw you over the side into the bay. They have no interest for those of us down below.
If my fancy
how are you
clothes
going to
were...
help us?
Because I have the connections to do so. Not by choice, but I will do so. To find Thavius, to follow my path, to do what was asked of me.
Fair enough.
And why do we want to go to the high city?
Isn't that where you want to go to search for this woman?
Back to the bathhouse. We can make a right proper ruckus if we bring those flaming fists in to just let them go crazy out there. Let's get them all stirred into a big, like, a fury. And we send them through like an army. That'll be a distraction. Then maybe we could go back in through the underside, like where we just came out. Well, everybody's looking at what the fuck is going on at the front gates with the flaming face making a ruckus there. We sneak in through the dead place. We could do that, right? Catch her like in a pincher in the middle.
It's possibility indeed. Possibility indeed. But
I mean, they might think I'm one of them. And Creek fishes through his bag and pulls out the flaming fist badge. They gave me this when we first came in. Like, when they tried to recruit us. But I would not shoot no refugees. That's just a bit too far.
Mhm.
If they were fighting back, that would have been one glorious thing. But they weren't. They were just looking for help. Pretty sure this badge would let me walk right in.
Yeah. And
But
honestly,
maybe somebody else should come too, because I don't make the strongest case.
yeah, I can disguise myself pretty proficiently. I honestly have my doubts about you though, Rhea. Getting into the high city, newsflash, we've already been there. If that's all you bring to the table, then I'm honestly not that interested. I think you're a danger to us. If you have something else, then I'd love to hear it.
there's nothing more than my power and my sword. It is no skin off my back if you don't wish for me to join you. I could understand, and as I said, I have the same reservations about the lot of you. Your brother isn't the most righteous of men, and I can even see the darkness in your own eyes, Quinn, but I believe we have the same end goal in mind. One more sword and one more hand at the matter is always a good thing, but I'll let you decide on all that as much as you want. For now, I'm out of here. She'll stand up, scooting this chair out from behind her and start making her way out of this small tavern.
I'm sure you'll find us.
That I will.
All right.
It'll be easy to find. I've got this rose perfume. It smells lovely. My fancy clothes are ruined, but just look for Malachi. He'll be the one giving you the up and down.
Mortlock watches her leave, and a bit of a stewed she is. Never much liked those Helderiders anyway, self-righteous group that they are. I
They're all
won't
the
doubt that
same.
she has powers that we could certainly use, though.
She
But
did help
then
us in
again-
that scrape there.
I
So-
just don't get how people can do that. The whole priest thing, the whole follow your god. If these gods were so almighty and powerful, then why would they just sit back and let things happen like El Terrell, or let people like Dara die?
You're still upset about Dara, aren't you? And I'm not saying that in a, like, I'm saying that in a sympathetic way.
I'll like turn away and say, no, she's a idiot. But
Come on, Quinn.
you'd have your suspicions that I'm probably lying.
I
I
know
don't-
that she's lying.
I don't pretend to know the ways of the gods and what they decide to do and don't do. They have their own battles going on. We're nothing more than pawns on a chessboard. Tools to use for their own advantage. The whole thing's a crock, if you ask me as well, Quinn, but there's no denying the desires, the hopes of some, the goodness that's in with some of them, and the evil that's in the rest. But who are we to know or ask?
Most of the people believing in the gods are just trying to find a better way or a better life.
There is a better way. It's earning it, learning it through knowledge, or figuring it out yourself. just following them and then having it torn out from under you. Look how lost she is at the mere thought that her high overseer could possibly be a bad guy. They're all brainwashed. I personally have earned everything that I'm able to do.
Mortlock looks at you. Where did you get your training, Quinn? Did you go to the school, studied in the books? Is that right?
Yeah,
So,
kind of.
And what happens if you don't have that book? You ever had the fear of losing it before?
Of course.
Oh,
But all that book is all my work.
And those gods they feel are all those. Her losing her god would be just like you losing that book.
Interesting perspective. Let's agree to disagree.
But I mean no foul or harm, my dear. I believe we have the same goals at hand, and well, I would have nothing more than to crush that bitch's head underneath my club.
I have to admit, you're the least shittiest Vinholt that I've met yet. And I know that's not saying much, but Jesus, your family is a bunch of fucks.
I know,
But
right?
when the devils own you, that's what tends to happen.
Right, were they always that bad, or is that from living on top of a death cult? Or did they build the death cult? I'm still confused about how that came to be. Did they invite them down there?
He says, no. My mother is... She began as simply nothing more than an old coal miner, worked up through the years, quite a strong-willed, powerful-willed woman. Earned a bit of money, married into it. Husband died, remarried. Her first husband, she only had one son from. He was... I never really had a chance to meet him or remember him. He was around now and then, but somebody that I never dealt with. Big fat bastard. Liked his women a bit too much. Always used to go down to the brothel, from what I hear. Don't know quite what happened. Found him dead one day. Good riddance as far as I'm concerned. But no, when my mother remarried, she sold her soul. She sold it for power, for greed, for wealth. That is how she got to where she is. Contract, who knows? Something is written, perhaps that's what it is that's down below that bathhouse in that complex. And every one of us, my brothers, Amric, Thirstwell, and myself, she tried to sell our souls while we were still in the womb. Those other two weak-willed individuals, they lost theirs. They're owned, possessed by the demons within. Me, I can control mine, harbor it. Just one more man that gets rid of one more devil from this world. She tried to sell my soul, but she couldn't do it. Threw me in the streets when I was born. I was taken in by a lovely old man, but that's neither here nor there. I've had a contract on my head ever since.
Let's just say that I understand growing up with the chips stacked against you in complete and utter shit, and I respect the fact that against it all you were able to come out on the other side. And as for your brother, let's just say that the fat bastard got what was coming to him.
That he did. Wish I could have saw his face, but alas. So the dead three I don't think have anything to do with my mother's or my brother's side of things. I think they are nothing more than a tool being paid off from the wealth of their coffers. She's been getting money, I don't know where. More money than what she's already had. She wouldn't be one to dig into her own wealth to cause a bit of ruckus, but somebody is feeding her the coins or something. With that, she's simply hiring the dead three, cause a bit of a stir to get the guards, the mercenaries in a bit of a ruckus, put them in a hide spot, and grab the reins the first moment she gets.
Do you know the forces that she's working with? How many of them are down there? It seemed like they were well staffed.
I wish. The den is... There's been rumors in the city of the Dead Three and their sewer hideouts and their complexes beneath the city. Said I was only able to get through a handful of rooms before those assassins came to get to me. I didn't get a chance to encounter any, but there's a city like this, there's plenty that follow Baal, Bane, and Miracle. This could be a dozen, could be 100. I wish I knew. I'm willing to kill every one of them, though.
I don't know about you guys. I'll look to the party. I don't think we have the numbers as is to take them on, even if it is a dozen. So somehow we need to rally. As much as I hate to admit it,
I think you're probably right. I think you're probably right.
Hey, we're gonna need more people. I mean, I could take 4 or 5 by myself, but that's not enough.
I'm shocked that I'm saying this, Krieg. I think that your idea with the Flaming Fist and at least causing a diversion to pull up some of their forces, I imagine what it would do is actually a pretty good idea.
This is if there's anybody you want to talk to with a Flaming Fist. There are a lot of them are... I hate to agree with her, but Rhea's not far off when she calls them bandits and thugs.
Oh, I'm not confused about that at all.
Oh, bandits and thugs is exactly what we need.
The moment Older was gone, they struck out on their own, shaking down the people, bribes, what have they. But Captain Zaj was the second in command. Still here, an older gentleman.
Captain
Some
Zaj?
say that he would have taken control hadn't Older stepped in and shown these people and put a bit of fear into their hearts to follow orders. He's scrambling now, trying to keep his things under control. But outside of him, besides a few lieutenants and other people who like to think that they're in control of the situation, he's about your only hope.
Hey, then that's the one to talk to.
That are paying enough money to get them to join your side for long enough to do something.
Do we think this Zaj has any honor whatsoever? Probably not.
If he's a soldier, he's bound to respect another soldier. He's a Marine for 40, 50 years. Equally a human lifetime.
Wouldn't be so sure of that with the Flaming Fist. They are
about as much as one bandit follows another.
But I have an idea running through my head. They're willing to kill innocent refugees trying to get in for their life. What would they do if they thought that Miss Vinholt was sneaking in refugees? We can perhaps even bring, if we can get the narrow-minded religious twat to agree to it, that we captured her with proof that Vinholt smuggled her in and plans to smuggle more people in. And then when they go on the offensive, a raid, that's when we go in the back door.
Oh, and we could spin it too. We could spin it that she's smuggling them in to keep the Flaming Fists occupied so she can get them on about the rest of taking over. We can make them downright pissed off. Make them think like it's their idea to attack the place.
Exactly. Don't count on their honor, but provoke them where they're easily provoked.
Aye, right in the ego.
It certainly won't be easy, but there's a bit of a plan there. You see, you'll have to convince them that my mother's somebody who would just as soon step on the poor and kick them to the curb as actually has a shred of decency or needs them for some reason. She's not the type that would just...
Or just enough to cause chaos and overthrow, what's his name, Older.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's no secret that she wasn't his #1 fan. No,
that it wasn't. And while they may be a anarchist group of sorts, without him, there's no doubt that they honored him, and well, he was quite well liked amongst their group. Is that good work?
It's like we're spinning a spider web right here. This is getting so, like, interwoven that I'm even starting to believe it.
A spider web of lies.
That's what
Yes.
Baldur's Gate operates off of, my friends.
Hey, it's going to be a grand fight. Wait, fighting was still part of it, right? We're not
I'm
just
sure
going to,
it will
like,
be.
talk our way all the way through it? Because, like, I really think there should be some swordplay.
I mean, we're gonna talk our way through as much of it as we possibly can, but it's
That,
us
yeah,
after all.
exactly. But come on, do you really think it's gonna? Do you really think we're gonna get from point A to point B without a fight?
Now, if I got anything
No.
to say about it,
No, I don't think so.
Yes. If I need to provoke a situation, I will certainly would be happy to.
No, I don't need you to provoke a situation. Calm down.
Just have a bit
We
of
haven't even
fun.
left yet.
Mortlock, do you have any pull whatsoever from the Vinholts, or are you completely estranged?
I am nothing more than an outcast and a poor, worthless wretch as far as they're concerned.
But does the rest of the city know that, or do they try to hide it and act like you're some black sheep?
No, they hide it. They would have no interest in letting the people know that they're related to someone like me, especially my mother. She would have never have it past that I was her son. I mean,
No.
there's a few who know about it, and here and there, and friends, but beyond that, somebody of her stature would not want to be seen with a likeness of me.
So you really are the black sheep, eh?
I look at him. He's bloody hideous. Oh, I meant that in the nicest possible way.
Most certainly, Krieg.
Aye.
So what if me and Krieg disguise ourselves as Flaming Fist? Say we caught a bunch of smugglers, and you're a Vinholt, or no, you're not a Vinholt, so we can't even say that we caught you with them.
Why don't we just walk in and talk to him?
I mean, we're going to need some hard proof here. They're not just going to go openly to war because we said so. We need an alibi. Is there any way? Mithra, you don't happen to know any kind of disguising spells, do you?
I have invisibility.
Yeah, that's not good. So what if I disguise myself as Amric, and then you say that you caught me smuggling in these refugees, Rhea, Mortlock, who's a black sheep and unknown, and then you and Mithra are the Flaming Fist.
Yeah.
And
I
you
don't know.
you bring us in, arrest.
Am I gonna stand out? Are there any other, like, is it gonna
Actually, yeah,
be
you're drowned.
Yeah,
plausible?
yeah,
Maybe
let's
I
see.
should just
Wait,
use
what if I just
invisi-
teach you disguise self? If I go to the academy, we spend like an hour or so. I'm sure I can teach you the spell. I know it myself. If we just spend a little bit of time.
Yeah, I can learn the spell if we're not using it right now. I just need time to study it and
Yeah, we
add
need
it to my book.
We need to rest anyways. We're all shit here, and this
Yeah.
isn't something. Laying a web like this isn't something you do in a couple hours. We need some time.
Yeah.
We need to cover
Yeah.
our steps. But if you can disguise yourself, and I disguise myself as Amric, and you arrest us just long enough for them to go on the raid, and we'll say that you caught me about to bring in a big shipload of refugees to cause absolute chaos into the city, and that action needs to be taken immediately. Maybe even if we get a good look at him, Mithra could even disguise herself as Captain Zodge and give the orders
Ooh.
himself.
Ooh. I'll be in charge.
It's like a heist here. We need to capture Captain Zodge. Take
Yeah.
him out of the picture.
It is a heist.
Let me pay for your rooms for the night. They're not the most comfortable here, but well, they can fill your bellies and get you rest. You do what you need to do.
You say
have
not
a-
comfortable, but you don't know where I've been sleeping for the last 5 years.
Yeah, they'll do. Trust me.
Since you all look like shit anyway, and, well,
Well,
These clothes were so fancy before we went down underground in that death cult place. Oh, look at him. They're ruined. I've never looked so prim and proper.
it was good while it lasted, Krieg. It looked good on you.
Oh, I felt good. I felt really good.
there was a moment there, Krieg, when you came through, and it's got me quite excited with your prim and properness.
Hey, don't you try making a pass now. That's just rose perfume. I know it's quite fetching.
So, why don't we do a quick run to the academy where they have the supplies? I'll transfer this spell over to you and teach you at Mithra. Maybe you and Malachi take care of the arrangements here, get us some new clothes or something. I don't know. I'm sure you boys can occupy yourselves. And then we'll rest for the night and do a little more reconnaissance on the Flaming Fist, see what's going on in the city, really get our chips in order, our pawns in place, and then figure out what the best course of action is. I find the more plans that we add, the more problems that can go on. So ideally, we want to keep it as simple as possible.
That sounds good. Is Disguise Self a level 1 spell?
It is indeed.
Yeah. So he will cover your rooms for the evening here. He'll just probably get some food and go to bed. He doesn't really have anything to do and needs a bit of rest. I don't know if you want to do anything, Krieg, or...
Probably just a couple drinks with Malachi. They'll shoot the breeze. Probably bitch about the fact that, they now, since they're friends with Martalock, they can't collect on this
I would
bounty.
for sure like to take a full rest.
Yeah,
I
we
bet.
definitely
I picture
some
Malachi
sleeping.
won't be as happy about not getting his money, but, well, he is not here, so he is going to agree anyway.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We bitch about it. Like
I imagine he tries to say no at first, but then I give him like the stern, like sisterly point, like a bad dog that has something in his mouth that he should spit out.
yeah. So we're
Along
bitching,
with his
we're
coin.
bitching about all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, we should rest for the night, and then we'll do this in the morning. You're right. We're all beat up. Sorry, I got caught up in the plan here.
Yeah, a full rest would definitely be good.
So,
Because I have used up like everything.
So 1 point of inspiration each and a full HP.
if we get the rest off. But I'm going to look to the group and say, I don't know about you guys, though, but this wine is going down good. I'm at least having another round.
Yeah, I will take some wine and some marijuana cigarettes, and we will have a good sleep tonight.
And he'll make sure you guys are fed and plenty of drink. Your rooms are paid for. He'll retire to bed shortly after. He doesn't really say much else for the evening. Seems to be sort of lost in thought and thinking about it. He chats with a few other patrons before heading off to his own room. As each of you slowly retire.
I'm going to try to be the last one up, and I want to see who else goes to bed last, actually. So I want to... So it's
I was going to say, Mithrin, maybe you guys had to make your way, and Malachi eventually too. As you're sitting there, Quinn, look, like you say, the place is emptying out of most of the patrons. Most people are retired to bed and stuff. Do you want to do anything, or?
I'm just getting like good and wine drunk and way more drunk than I should be. And if I'm just sitting at the table alone, did everyone go to bed? I was just trying to be like, see who was the last to go to bed.
I'm gonna stay here with Quid. I'm kind of like, I'm drinking a little bit, but I'm not getting intoxicated.
I know Malachi had his ass kicked, so I'll say he's the first to bed.
Yeah, he always is anyways, a softie.
Yeah, I think Krieg
He
definitely
slept
drinks
all
some.
through dinner.
I think Krieg drinks some nice, cheap, like sailor swill kind of grog. And I almost think like the taste, like he would remember drinking it just a little bit, kind of have like some drunken memories come back up of standing out front and just beating the crap out of people. possibly
I'm
even
more
get
so just
talked out of
smoking
going
and
to it.
enjoying the atmosphere. I'm not really in any hurry to go to bed.
Give me
I
I'm going to
think.
say a wisdom save, Krieg.
Ooh,
No.
is that +1? Is going to be a 12 total.
So maybe as you're sitting there drinking, having some of these memories, and eventually make your way to bed, a lot of your dreams this evening are sort of going to revolve. You remember wrestling in these streets. You're constantly going to have just little snippets, as you look down the streets in this dream. But it's always going to be this drow, Mithra. It always seems to be just out of sight. And if you try to run to talk to her or something, it's always gone. But as if like all night long, you just keep dreaming just like she's there, but she's not. Or she's just at the edge of your memories. Like you can definitely feel there's something there, but when you wake up, it's but a distant memory. It's always nagging at you, but
Man, all right.
it's almost like somebody's stopping you from truly remembering.
Goddamn fairies.
Anything else was Mithra and Quinn?
Yeah, so after Krieg goes to bed, I imagine it's just like really late in the bar, and it's just like me, Mithra, the bartender, and then probably like a couple other absolutely shit-faced people. And Quinn's just kind of like sitting there swaying on her chair, having way too much wine to drink. Hasn't really said anything, and has been just like chain smoking. She's probably through almost all of her smokes at this point. And then after like a moment's, probably even like an hour of silence, she would just kind of break it and say to Mithra, I don't even understand why I give a shit about this city. Like, why am I even doing this?
You seem
City.
really upset to be back here.
I mean, this place just literally did nothing for me. It's a hellhole, yet now I'm risking my life for it. For what reason?
I understand that, but I mean, I feel like you're really drunk right now, and we're not risking our lives. Like, we're not gonna die. Don't worry. Why do you have such a negative,
I'll
feeling about this place?
lean
Besides
in
the
like
fact
drunkly.
that it sucks.
I'll lean in drunkly and like pull you in, like, listen. Like, every time we get into anything, we almost die. Fucking Malachi's lost his eye. I don't even know how many times we've all went down. Anytime we do something, we almost die. And this shitty is just the fucking
But we don't
worst
die because we
place.
have a group. We're not on our own. They're not picking us off one by one. That's the whole point. If we let them pick us off one by one, we're fucked.
And then, like a drunk person, I'm just going to completely switch topics on you. And I'm going to look at you and say, if you had to kill someone, but you didn't really know anything about them, whether they were a good person or a bad person, like, sure, they seem like a useless twat, but you can't. Would you just kill somebody because you had to? If you were bound to doing it?
I mean, I guess it would depend on why you made an oath and what your oath means to you. Why did you make that oath to kill someone in the first place? And how bad, what did you get for that? What did that mean to you?
For the record, I'm just really drunk, and we're speaking hypothetically here,
I
kind
know,
of
I know.
like a game of like would you rather kind of thing, but like hypothetically speaking.
And I'm sober, but I can clearly I'm just yeah, don't worry, man. I know, it's okay.
Just say
we're
that
just playing what ifs.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
not
what if,
real.
but, I can't. You couldn't really talk about it in any way, shape, or form. But when you made the deal, you needed to, and now you need to kill someone, or you've broken that bond.
Well, what happens if you break the bond?
When she says that, you're going to hear a voice. You see the bartender just across the bar from you, Quinn, stares at you. You recognize the eyes almost instantly. He says, "No, you never break a bond. To do that would be Avoiding a contract and avoid a contract. That's never a good thing. At least that's what I hear.
Is it just me that? Oh no, he says it out loud.
Yeah, he says it out loud. He gives you a bit of a smile and a wink, Mithra. And turns and walks back, wiping down the counter. You see his body sort of shakes for a second.
I just kind of look like I'm surprised. I mean, like, I'm sober. I'm drinking a little bit, but I'm sober enough that I know I'm not hallucinating.
His body kind of like a chill runs up his spine or something. Bartender will look over at you guys and then just go back to cleaning the counter and wiping down glasses.
I don't really know fully what happens if you break this hypothetical bond, but I don't know.
What's gonna happen if this person dies?
I mean, I imagine it's just another dumbass dead, right? Like most people just fucking throw themselves to die anyways. Like I mean, it's not a she or anything, and I don't know, but like,
is it worth what you promised? What you were promised?
it's not necessarily that it's worth. I'm just worried about the ramifications of if I break it, what's going to happen to me. If somebody has a power to make those bonds, then obviously they're not going to let it be broken so easily. I mean,
are you going to die if you don't
right?
Yeah, I do. Are you going to die if you don't fulfill your bond? Am I going to die?
I don't think anyone's going to die, but I don't really know for sure.
Well, maybe we need to figure out a way to bring this guy to both of us and talk to him together.
I mean, he was just there. Unless I'm that wasted. Am I that wasted? Fuck
no,
you,
I mean,
Leo, you fucking prick. I'll yell out to the bartender.
I mean, really, like, figure this out. Not when you're drunk. I mean, really, like, get him to come to both of us at the same time so we can...
But I'm just saying, like, you know, hypothetically speaking, we're not really good people. And, like, I've already killed a bunch of people, so it doesn't really matter if I kill one more person, right? Especially if she's a stupid, naive, religious zealot that's probably just going to get herself killed anyways, right?
Probably not. I mean, you're taking advice from a dark elf who's already committed murder, so I don't really know what you expect me to say. I'm not exactly the queen of moral high ground here.
I'll like stand up from the table dramatically and just be like, listen here, you're the best dark elf I've ever met, okay? And then I'll come over and give you like a big sloppy drunk hug.
Oh, I love you too.
Probably like fall over, and then it's probably around that point that you realize that it's definitely well past Quinn's bedtime.
Yeah, kind of I think you should go to bed. I'm gonna have a nightcap by myself before I go to bed.
All right, then yeah, I'll say, yeah, me too, and I'll grab a drink and say, hey, fuck you, Leo, one more time to the bartender, and then walk up to bed.
He'll just start you with this confused look. Make sure you have your key and get into bed. You can remember going to bed, Quinn. Do you remember waking up just covered in this cold sweat? Seems to be this... Well, you remember dreaming. You can't remember what it was. Whatever it wasn't good. The sheets are just soaked with your sweat. This is your clothes. Your hair is matted down. Perhaps, just step up and open the window a crack to let in some fresh air. The room is stuffy, hot, overbearing. Looks early morning. The sun hasn't risen. I think maybe 3 in the morning at best. On the docks, maybe 30, 40 feet out, you see a figure. It's crouched down. It's back against one of the large poles, the pier poles. Just sitting there. Every now and then it shakes a little bit. A group of people will wander by. Flaming fists seem to be out on a bit of a patrol. This yellow lantern. And they'll swing it by. It catches the glint of Rhea's armor as she sits out there on the pier, just sort of staring across the bay, the ocean distance. You can hear it. It's a soft whimper, a sniffle, a sag of her shoulders. She just sits there in the dark, crying.
This is like 3 a.m., so I'm probably like still like
Yeah, your head's swimming pretty good still.
rub my eyes and say, "Fuck me." Well, some fresh air probably won't be the worst thing in this situation, and I'll make my way out.
Do I hear
No.
this too? Or am I asleep?
Well, you'd be on the opposite side, probably just from Quinn's window.
Start like walking down the hall, mumbling to myself, like, I guess if I'm gonna fucking kill her, I should probably know her terrible sobby backstory.
Nobody's really in the tavern this time. It's pretty much a clear shot. There's a couple people cleaning up the tavern for the night, cleaning up the vomit. Kind of wonder if it's your own that you might have left behind. I don't remember throwing up, but maybe you did. Don't really remember giving out hugs either.
Not gonna rule it out of the question.
Make your way out there. The fresh air will feel quite good. You can hear people whistling in the distance. Sounds like a couple of drunken sailors doing a shanty tune here and there. But yeah, you can see Rhea. Her back is up against one of the pier boards, and she just seems to stare out. Again, you can hear her sniffles and stuff. The gleam of her armor just a little bit in the moonlight. She just sits there. She would have her back to you, so she wouldn't really know you're coming.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be quiet about it. I'm just gonna like drunken stumble up to her, just kind of probably like impolitely burp on accident. Just, oh, it smells actually pretty bad down here, and then just plop down beside her.
Catch her kind of off guard from. You can see her hand, that trained soldier aspect of her quickly. She's to her feet, hand on the sword.
She watches. Soldier.
What did you do to come out here and lecture me a bit more about my beliefs, about my zeal at religious followings? You have more words to say, Quinn?
No, I'm just really drunk and getting out some fresh air.
I'll go find it somewhere else.
Nah. So what's your deal? You don't strike me as someone to break down like this.
What do you mean?
I mean, you're this whole holy knight, hell rider, badass bitch, and don't care about anything. You're gonna follow whatever you believe in, yet you're down here crying in the middle of the night, clearly.
This is all simply watching the moonlight. There's no such thing as crying.
What, has it been raining on your face, or what?
There was a bit of drizzle in the fog, yes. Clearly that must be it.
Sure.
So perceptive of you.
That's me, old perceptive Quinn. Listen, it's not anything personal against you. It's just I distance myself from people. And you people in particular, with your gods, I just don't get it, you know? You follow them, and sure, you get cool powers and can do shit, but you could have did that on your own.
No, it gives meaning to our life. It gives us a goal, a meaning to life.
And what is
for
your
us?
meaning? To follow Thavius blindly, no matter how or what he does?
I was put here to help the people, to protect them from corruption, from evil, to help show them the path to the light, to aid them in their own quest for self-meaning, understanding. So for me, that meant helping the people, training them, and giving them hope. But I got that from Thavius, who raised me from... Why does it even matter, Quinn?
I don't know. I'm just feeling particularly insightful today and just wanted to hear your end of it. I don't know Thavius. I don't know if he's bad. I've just met a lot of people, and most of them are shit. So when somebody does something presumably shitty, I'm prone to believe that that's probably the case. So It sounds too good to be true for me, but like I said, I don't know, Thavius. Maybe you're right, and you sound like a fucking Hallmark card, or the equivalent of a Hallmark card in Faerun's, with your spiel of your holy knightship and helping. That's great and all.
She says, but I have hope. I have an understanding of where I am in this world, of what I am, what I can do to help the people, to aid, to give my life purpose. You're awful pessimistic. You're full of anger, Quinn, of hate, of, dare I say, perhaps even jealousy for those around you who have more, who have a purpose. Do you even know what your purpose is? Do you care what your purpose is?
I mean,
do you desire a purpose?
I'm sure
besides following your brother.
I'm sure your life was real tough growing up in those holy temples with your professors to show you how to love your God and lovey-dovey, loyalty-dooley bullshit. I'm sure that was really fucking tough on you. But yeah, me and you are a little bit different. We probably had slightly different childhoods, and I'm not here to spin a sob story on myself. My purpose, I don't think there is much of a purpose in life besides whatever you find worth doing. And for me, I want to be there for my brother, just like he's going to be there for me, whether he's a dickhead or not.
And stay alive. No different. I want to be there for the people, whether they're dickheads or not, Quinn. I want to be there to help them, to give them a purpose to be, a sense of happiness.
I guess at the end of the day, that's why I'm out here talking to you, because your whole romantic idea of purpose sounds a whole lot better than mine. So if there's a chance in believing that, then I've always been one to see what's in front of me.
So, well, you certainly aren't up to par to be a priestess of
Oh, fuck that. Never would I be a bitch to any god, but like, hey, I'm down to help people out, I think.
And I'm not one to be a slave to a spell book. At least we can agree on something.
Slave to a spell book. Like, you could probably even read a page in this thing.
Just like you could recite a prayer.
I mean, whatever. You got a bad attitude, you know, but at the end of the day, it's all right. You want to find Thavius. I think that our fates are entwined by some means or another, so I think we're going to need you. But I need you to be able to work with us, okay? This whole blind following the blind, it's not going to work. It's going to get you hurt in this situation. But if you can work with us, then I will give you my word that I'll give you your best chance of finding Thavius and getting to the bottom of it. You just need to believe what's in front of you if it happens. I don't want you seeing all the evidence and then still blindly following him and sticking a sword in our back because your God told you that this guy is better than any other guy.
Fair enough. You just have to give me your word that you're not going to drag in the innocent, the poor, the wretched people of this town into your own little path for desires.
We got a plan. It's a good one. You're going to like it. Hold on. Listen up. And then I'm just going to basically like spiel how I plan to disguise myself as Emmerich, and me and Krieg are going to arrest her. Or no, Mithra's gonna. Yeah, I'm already. I imagine I'm actually like, fucking it up to him. I'm like, no, wait. I'm gonna be Emmerich. Mithra's gonna be Captain Zodge, and then we're gonna arrest all of us, provoking the Flaming Fist into attacking. At which point we are going to sneak in and expose. And I'm gonna get in front of her face and expose the Vinholfs.
This is... All right. That could work better than you think, Quinn. She'll actually sit back down, sort of slide her back down this pole. Not looking at you, sort of her back against your back sort of thing. So how well are you at keeping secrets?
Pretty good.
That's what I hear. Morlock is a good man. I can attest to that. I knew him as a child. I grew up in this city as well, Quinn. Left when I was 7 for El Terrell, taken in by Thavius Krieg and the Temples. And you have a bit of power about you. I haven't seen it in a long time. What do they call it? Anomancy? You read my name. Am I mistaken?
Just gonna kind of like dumbly stare at her, completely caught off guard, not really knowing what to say, but obviously not able to hide the truth in my eyes.
It's okay. It's one of the things that we learn in the temples. Willpower. How to disrupt, ignore, avoid a little bit of magics like that. Says, sure, I'm willing to give up my name, but you should know I'm not Rhea Mantlemorn, at least. No, Morlock is my brother. My name is Rhea Vindholt. She too is my mother.
Yeah, I would like full on like cough on my own stomach hearing that.
I don't know the full truth of the matter, and the priests of the temple never said they always wanted to protect me from it, and that it wasn't important anyway, that I needed to put my faith in Torm and follow his guiding lights and aid the people of Elturel, but no.
How is that possible? Sorry, go ahead.
I left the city when I was 7 to go live with my father, Thavius.
Oh, so Thavius is interesting.
So you must understand, for you to condemn him without knowing him, to me, he is the person who raised me. He's my father. He's the leader of a holy city. He's everything that was good in my life. My mother would have nothing to do with me and shipped me out of here the first chance she got. Probably would have ended up like Morlock otherwise. I was the one to go along with all her little scheming and bullshit tactics. Always questioning, always wondering why she went about them. Treated me like shit and shipped me out the first chance she got. Surprised she didn't just kill me anyway.
That's a lot.
So you must have a bit of reservations, as I'm sure you understand, but she'll stand up and just kind of stare at you.
That's a lot you just dropped on me there. I'm trying to process this, but you're saying that I keep forgetting her name, Morgan, but the Miss Vinholt, I can't remember her first name. Philandra. Okay. Philandra's your mom and Thavius is your dad. That's what you're saying to me right now.
By blood, yes. I don't consider her mother any more than you would, but by blood.
That's like a huge thing we're saying here. You said you wouldn't know why Thavius would be associated with Philandra, yet they had you together. That's a pretty big thing. But even more importantly, I extracted your name. And then I'll repeat it magically. It's like Rhea with some kind of incantations behind it, and then Mantlemore. But you're telling me that your true name is Vinholt. How did you hide that from me?
We have powers, Quinn. I've been gifted. I don't know why they chose me or who they even are. Beings. Thavius called them divas. No, any sort of charm, any sort of mental hack upon me. More times out of 10 that I can make the caster believe what they want.
It's incredible. Can you teach me how to do it?
Because I don't really know how I do it. It is a sense of, that's his. I remember Morlock when I was small, very small. He's a bit older than I. I don't know if he knows who I am. But when he mentioned about his own ability to resist the devil that's within him, the devil that tried to corrupt him, that the Laundra had sold his soul to. Perhaps it's a family trait or something. Maybe Thavius is his father. I don't know. Willpower. Just something that's quite strong within us.
Can you show me it? I think if I watch you do it, I might be able to perhaps have a chance. If you don't understand, if I can do this, there's a lot I can do with this. I can fix what I've done, I think.
What did you do?
Shit, I shouldn't have said that. Don't worry about it, but
No, I don't believe it's time for you to learn such a thing, nor do I even think you would have it within you. You're too self-centered and too worried about your own past and knowledge. And
funny thing about
whatever.
time is I'm on a very tight schedule here. So, maybe we can... I'm a really good learner. Did I tell you that I was the top of the Arcanum? I was literally outperforming professors within the first year, so I don't have a whole lot of time here.
I'll be able to figure it out. There's always time for one who makes it. I think it's time for Bedquin. The drink is flushing up within your cheeks.
Hey, I know when my limit is. But you're going to work with us, though.
I'll be here in the morning.
And what are you going to do if you find out that your dad did betray El Terrell?
I don't know.
Well, I hope that it's the right thing.
Me too.
As she walks away, I'm going to try to extract her name again.
What is it? She has to make a will?
Just to make a wisdom save.
Oh, yeah. She'll just stop and turn. Gives you a bit of a smile. This time you pull a name, but it's Frederick Gumption.
Perfect. Then I want to make an Arcana check to see if there's any somatic or verbal components to whatever she just did.
Okay, go for it.
22.
Nope, neither one.
Bitch.
She'll offer a bit of smile. It's time for bed, Quinn. Get some rest. She'll just walk down the docks.
All right. Well, that's some stuff. I'll go to bed.
Bright and early you will hear the morning as it comes, the frying of pancakes and sausages. The smell sort of fills the air. Down below, it seems that some sort of guest cook has arrived this morning. A pancake professional, she calls herself. She's out in the kitchen, flapjacks waving and things cooking up. You'll see Mortlock sitting at the table, 3 stacks already down, working on his 4th. A couple of plates around the table for the rest of you. Says, it's about time that a lot of you woke up. I'm already on my 4th. She makes a hell of a good pancake.
Quinn looks like absolute death walking down the stairs. Her hair's like in a complete bird nest. Doesn't have her hat on right.
I look like I'm pretty much ready to go. I'm wearing my nice robes, but I'm definitely excited for these pancakes. I might look a little pie-eyed, though. I'm looking for coffee. Messer needs coffee.
They got excellent coffee. He says, I have a bit of a meeting this morning with a few friends. I will be back within the hour. We can make our plans. Feel free to eat, chat, drink on my coin, and he'll drop a few coins on the table. And to wash yourself up, Quinn. You smell of vomit and sweat.
Thank you.
You'll see he excuses himself, grabbing this leather jacket off the table, making sure his club's on his back, and heads up the stairs out the door. His heavy foot stomps overhead as he walks over.
Creek comes down, looking a lot more like he usually does. Hair is kind of uncombed and in a kind of long tangled mess. Beard is uncombed and in a kind of long tangled mess. Clothes are, crumpled and I mean, it looks like he slept in them. Strap lines on the side of his face from where his, where his bracers that were still on were up under his cheek as he was sleeping. And comes down just kind of drooling over the smell of pancakes.
Imagine you sit next to Quinn and there's like a striking resemblance to the two of them. Quinn just like looks at you and groans and points like she gets it, even though, and then starts devouring pancakes to hopefully cure this hangover.
There's a great trick we dwarves know. It's the head of a dog. Now, it's not actually like the head of a dog, but like, just have another drink. Fix you right up.
That doesn't always work, but sometimes it does.
I think if I smell wine again, I'm gonna puke.
Maybe it only works for dwarves. Come to think of it, I don't even know what this hangover thing actually feels like.
It's
I hear
terrible.
some of you. I've heard lots of complaints about it, but I've never experienced such a thing. And I have been, let me tell you, I have been shit-faced, falling on the ground, can't remember a damn thing drunk.
No one likes a bragger, Greg.
Yeah, Krieg stuffs his face.
You guys will have time to... Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, I think after he eats a couple of helpings, he goes out to kind of a clear space on the docks and kind of like looks around, looks at the mark on his shield. All right, Tempest. I'm not sure if I'm doing this right. I've never actually tried to talk back to any of the voices up here, but I guess let's do this thing, yeah? And then I think he just kind of starts going through like a kata, I guess, sword and board, longsword and shield, kind of, I guess, paying homage and trying to figure out how exactly one prays to a god. The morning cleric ritual. I think he's out there for like an hour doing his prayers as he knows them.
Nice.
Combat
People will
with
give you a few curious glances probably as they walk down the bus, but nobody's going to in the wave of a crazy-looking, bulgy-eyed dwarf swinging a sword and shield, so they keep a good fair distance and let you do your thing.
I imagine he gets more and more animated and, begins, kind of grunting and whooping as he goes. Ah, 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 ah. Kind of a crescendo towards the end.
Beautiful. Mithra and Quinn, do you guys do anything besides eat breakfast?
Yeah, we gotta hang up the Arcana reluctantly and go transfer this disguise self spell to Mithra.
Yes, and I'm going.
Quinn's not
so
too eager for that.
You have to teach it to me as well as I write it in my book.
I don't think I actually as written. I think you can just write it over yourself, but I imagine that it's better just to flavor it that we go over, and hopefully with the Arcanum, I'm imagining that the supplies are a little easier and more manageable for us, so we can get it done. I think it's
Cool.
1 hour and some.
Yeah.
Go ahead and add that to your book then.
And then if I have time, I would like to read up about any kind of magics. I, as a player, know it's above my level, but to restore memory, see where I can learn about that kind of stuff. Because I promised Krieg I would help him out with that.
So as you poke around, give me an Arcana check.
Yeah. Woo, 25.
Nice. And how about an investigation?
Am I with Quinn right now?
You'd probably be copying the spell over.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of time, so I imagine I would just put you to it, give you the directions, and then go do my own thing. Investigation is a 14.
So you're going to come across the spell as you look over this thing. It's strange. You walk up and down these aisles. You've been through here. You've looked at a lot of these books over the years and stuff. But it's tucked in between a few different books. You know you've looked through these books maybe just recently when you were doing your own studies just a short while ago. But tucked in nicely between them, as you're sort of flipping through, this paper falls and drifts down to your feet. Pick it up to put it back, and let's see. The spell is called Dream Speaker. Look over this. You've never heard of this before. You can see the small runic symbols of the anomancy tucked into the corner. Seems like some sort of enchantment. Can't quite make out, without some studying and working on it, but it seems to be able to extract thoughts and memories from a person who's asleep.
I am going to realize that I don't have enough time to deal with this right now, but look around to see if anyone's watching me. I'm either going to try to hijack it or just quickly copy pasta, plagiarize, and then figure out it later on. You're saying I don't have the time to figure it out right now, or do I?
No, you wouldn't. No.
Yeah.
Do you want to try a stealth check to? Or not a stealth, but a.
How long do you think it would
sleight of
take
hand.
for me just to like copy it down to my own sheet? Because I imagine that'd be.
Oh, not copying the spell, just copying the.
Yeah, like start writing it down, like basically just like tracing over it or something, just so that I can.
Probably
put it
like. Yeah, you could do that about the same amount of time that Mithra's working on her thing, so it kind of looks like you're just working on your own spell thing. Yeah, you could do that.
So can I write then a dream speaker sheet in my inventory then?
That works.
Undeciphered?
That works.
Cool. Undeciphered. And then, yeah, I would imagine that I probably finish up around the same time that Mithra goes, and then I would like just make sure that she has it. So I imagine I'm like, all right, stand up now and let's go over it together one more time, and basically start doing like the verbal chanting of it and the somatic gestures, and then just kind of like walking her through, like, you got a picture what you want to look like, and it will change your clothing and armor and look and belongings in your personal being, but if someone goes to touch through it, they'll discover. I'll just basically like give you a rundown on this guy's self.
But nobody really seems to bother you guys or anything. You can slip this paper back wherever you found it, Quinn. And there's this sort of nagging thought. This was awfully convenient, considering it's something that really you've never heard of or seen or nothing, but at least it's convenient for you.
Onomancy and Arcanum is definitely interesting for me.
And then you headed back to the tavern.
Yeah, I'll say, so Krieg, are you another holy zealot now, just like our friends Rhea? What's going on here? Tempest now? This is new, right?
Oh, aye. It just started talking to me in the middle of a fight a few days ago. It was like he supported it.
Now, Krieg here. I know we've had other voices in your head before, and like you've been getting bonked pretty hard in the fight. So I just want you to be aware that just because voices are telling you to do something, that we should definitely think about what they're saying and whether that makes sense. And I'm just like skeptically talking to you.
No, this one makes perfect sense. It's like I can feel him and hear him saying, "Fight for the people you care about and fight hard." And I can appreciate that because, I mean, I was gonna do that anyway, right?
Well then, if this is real, why don't you... Do you feel any new powers or anything coursing through you?
Oh, I do. I feel like I kind of have this feeling like maybe I can make people feel better. Like I can close up a wound if it was wide open and split in battle. Like I could just put it back together. I kind of feel like it.
What about the damage that I did to my liver? Is there any chance you can fix that right now?
Oh, that was the head of the dog. I told you that one already. That's no special talent. But there are things like, I feel like if I was deep in the, right in the thick of battle, that I would just be better. That I could swing harder. That I could kill faster. That I could fight better. That I could keep my friends safe.
Well,
I feel like that's like it's like who I've always been. Like my anger makes sense.
Well, I'm glad then, as long as that voice in your head isn't telling you to sneak into our rooms and kill us in our sleep or anything along that lines, then...
Oh no, it's telling me that if anybody tried to sneak into your rooms to kill you, that I would fight them, that I would stop them, that I would take their heads clean off and let them go tumbling down the stairs.
Perfect.
Telling me that I should fight for the people that can't fight for themselves. As long as I'm fighting. That's what it's telling me.
Seems like if Tempest did choose you, he chose a good acolyte.
I'm not an acolyte. I'm Krieg.
That you are. Well, I talked to Rhea last night. She said she's on board for our idea. I don't know what other steps here that we should make. I feel kind of weird just being like the ringleader of this. So if you guys want to have any input, this is what I've kind of got out, and you'll see that I've already started making notes on like a checklist, and it's basically get Rhea on board, check, scope out the Flaming Fist and Captain Zodge, maybe walk around the High City and make sure that, what's his name? Amric is in there, kind of get an idea of his routine and stuff like that. And I'll just basically like start laying out this plan, but you guys feel free to add anything that you think you would to it.
That is way more detailed than I thought of it all. That's well done. Aye.
And it's just something I put together while a little bit of spare time.
If that's how nice your penmanship is when you're drunk, I can't even imagine what it looks like when you're sober. That's amazing.
Let's just say I've done a lot of writing in my time. Give my old spell book a big pat, which is fucking massive tome.
Well, I think I'm gonna go see if Malachi's awake. Try and get him some of these pancakes before they're gone.
Yeah, that pancake chef was awesome. Anyone get their name?
No, I didn't. That's a shame.
Well, here, make sure you give them a good tip, and I'll flip a gold coin. Not that I have very many of them, but hey, they deserve it. Actually, no, I'm not that rich. They're gonna get a silver piece. This is low level D&D right now. Okay?
Right.
1 silver.
I'm back to 0.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys around you realize Mortlock hasn't been back yet. He said within the hour, an hour and 15, an hour and a half. It gets to be a quarter of 2 hours almost. And you'll hear like this heavy pounding over top above. A few of the patrons will look up everything. It sounds like something is happening up on the main deck of this ship. The door will open. There'll be this screaming. You can hear Mortlock's gruff voice as he gets ready to say something, and then this sort of sound. You hear the pounding as he gets thrown down the stairs, his body just rolling over and over and hits the bottom of the steps. And he lays there for a moment looking up, and it's just the shadows on the step. And then you see that smile start to crawl across his face. And there's a slight hint of deja vu, Krieg. It's almost like you've seen this man smile like that before. You can feel the blood in your veins gets pumped up just a little bit. He'll get ready to pull himself up, and you're going to see 5 men come pounding down the stairs. 3 of them are dressed in this really tight-fitting black leather, and they have these long maces with black rope tied around them, hanging down. 2 more come down behind him. These ones are dressed in a chain, heavy greaves, and bracers on each arm, and this helmet that wraps around their face. What do you guys do?
Shit, I'm gonna spring into action and protect Mortlock.
Krieg's blade comes out, shield comes up. Ah, and my belly's full. He's charging forward.
You said that they're at the top of the stairs or the bottom of the stairs?
They're coming down the stairs.
Seems like a good opportunity to cast grease on the stairs. I'm gonna go ahead and do that.
Well, before we do that, everybody give me, I'm going to say, dexterity saving throws, DC of 13 to act before they do.
I'm good. 18.
Krieg?
6.
Nope. And Mithra. Oops. You muted.
Sorry, 14 plus 2.
So 16, you're good. So yeah, Quinn and Mithra, you guys can take quick actions before we enter initiative then.
All right. My action will definitely be channeling the grease spell, pouring out my rind of pork fat, channeling my magical words and gestures, and then suddenly the stairs start dripping with this slippery ass grease. I need to make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh jeez, let's see. So first one, no. Second one, yes. Third one, no. So let me just mark these. That one, and then the other 2, yes. And the other 2 do. So you're going to hit the 2 of the ones in this tight-fitting black leather as they're coming down. The other 3, oh god, good.
Yeah, so they fall prone, and if you're cool with it, I'd like to imagine it as they fall and start Home Aloneing it, falling down the stairs or whatever, all the way to the bottom, right in front of Mortlock, hopefully in a good position to strike.
And they're coming downstairs, so I'll let you roll 1d4 for damage.
Cool. 3 damage.
As they'll come smashing down at the feet of Mortlock, who picks himself up. Smile. He'll look over his shoulder and a bit of a grin on his face. The other patrons of the bar, some of them are getting sort of caught up in the excitement, thinking it's going to be a bar brawl. Other ones look a little bit worried and scared for the moment, as everybody's sort of hinging at the moment, trying to figure out what to do. And Mithra, what action would you like before initiative?
Because they're covered in grease, I gotta throw a fireball at them.
What's the radius? You're pretty sure that's going to catch a lot of people with a radius of a fireball.
I think she meant firebolt, not fireball.
Oh, okay. Firebolt is perfect then, yes.
Sorry.
So I think you're going to blow up the entire place with a fireball. All right. You want one of the 2 that are prone on the ground, or one of the ones coming down the steps?
I guess I'll go with the one coming down the steps.
All right. Go ahead and make your attack then. And I'm just going to give you advantage since he's all greased up. So roll twice and take the better.
All right. Ooh. 3 and 14.
14 does not hit.
Is that with your modifiers or just natural?
Oh, sorry. What's my modifier? My spell mod?
Yep.
Yep.
Sorry, that's +6.
So
Sorry.
20 will hit, yes. So
And then 1d10, or sorry, yeah, 1d10 fire damage. Oh, 4.
Gotcha. All right. So initiative it is. You'll see the other ones come all down. They sort of, Mortlock will stand in front of these two on the ground as the other ones start to, at the moment, they're not so much worried about the patrons, but after you guys drop a few things, they'll kind of glare in Quinn and Mithra's direction. Probably Krieg as you look excited. It looks like their focus is on Mortlock, though. First up, no, not that one. Let me just... Mithra, give me a 1d6 roll. First one up is Tavern Chaos. See what happens in there.
3.
3. You'll hear this heavy pounding, and a group of people behind you, mid-snack on their pancakes, just absolutely freaking out at the moment as they just start trying to get out of this place, come charging forward. Give me a strength check. DC 15.
Sorry, I just rolled d20 and add my strength modifier.
Yep.
Okay. Sorry, just trying to find my strength. Oh my god. Oh, it's just +1. 16.
Alright, you're going to take half damage as these guys charge forward, sort of trampling you underneath.
Sorry, 16. Well, 17. 16 + 1.
So you can take 3 points of damage. You're not knocked prone, but you just get shoved into the corner into maybe a few tables and pushed around as they trample through, trying to get out of this place, quickly piling along the stairs, slipping, falling on their grease everywhere as they just kind of enter the fray, not wanting to really, but... And I'm going to say Malachi is just helping out wherever. So, Mithra, you are up as these people plow past. They're just trying to get the hell out of this place, but you kind of were caught in their path.
I'm just going to move out of their way.
You got an action too you can take.
Oh, okay. I'm going to move out of their way, and are there things still coming down the stairs?
They're all downstairs, but there's
Okay.
3 in this tight-fitting leather and 2 larger ones. They all have maces or flails, but the larger ones are just covered in a thicker armor.
Are they a distance away from me?
This place is 30, so they're about 30 feet away from you.
Okay. I'm gonna cast another firebolt at one of them. One of the ones with the leather.
Go for it.
18?
Yes, that's a hit.
Eight.
Gotcha. Oops. Krieg, you are up next.
All right. Yeah, Krieg is just gonna rush forward and take a swing at, I guess whichever one is closest, whether that's one of the smaller guys or one of the bigger, beefier ones. Like, whichever one. He's just gonna kind of insert himself, I guess, into the front line, so to speak.
Be the 2 bigger ones. The 3 smaller ones are surrounding Mortlock, while 2 of them are on the ground. The other one's on them, but the other ones are sort of trying to block you guys from interfering with what's going on with them 3. So.
Okay. Perfect. Yeah, then I'm gonna come in just bellowing. Ah! Take a good old slash at one of these, one of the big dudes then.
We'll go for it.
+5. Son of a bitch. I'm gonna use my inspiration to re-roll that.
Would it be advantage, or is it not one of the ones that's prone?
That's right, not re-roll, it's a roll again.
Yeah, these ones aren't prone,
Okay.
these 2.
That is much better. Yeah, I had to use the inspiration for the advantage because I rolled a 1 on that die. The new roll is a 16 plus 5, 21.
That is a hit.
It's much better. So it's going to be for 6 damage. And then for the bonus action, I'd like to push that action surge for a second strike.
All right.
Which is total 14.
14 misses.
Okay.
Yeah. Take this first blow. Quickly swings up, sort of wrapping around your sword with these chains on its flail, knocking it out of the way. You see, it tries to rip back to pull away your sword, but keep a hold of that. And he is up, the one you're fighting. And he'll turn to you, this huge flail, sort of swings it around, trying to keep you at bay. And he snaps his one hand, and he says something in this deep, guttural voice. You can see that it is a human behind this helm. A little bit, looks sort of bloated in the face, and doesn't really look all that healthy. Whatever it is he's speaking, though, you don't quite recognize. Behind him, you'll see one of these guys that are on the ground get up. As he does so, he just brings this dagger. Mace is in one hand, but he brings up this dagger, just cutting it right into the crotch of Morlock. That will hit. You'll see this huge gash open up on the inside loins of Morlock as he lets out a bit of a yell and steps back, stumbling a little bit. And then, yeah, he's this huge guy in front of you. Krieg will just take a swing. 14.
Yep, dead on.
Exactly
what he needed.
Damage. 6 points of damage.
Come on, Cupcake. Is that the best you got?
Sort of steps back, gets into the stance. Behind him, the same guy that he was yelling at makes another attack on Mortlock. Again, hitting. Again, doing 7 points.
Say, am I close enough to use my reaction, the protection reaction, to give him disadvantage?
Nope, because these two big guys are basically stopping you guys from getting back there as these three just gang up on Mortlock. Again, just braces Mortlock steps back, kind of reaching down where his loin has been cut. You see this flash come across his shoulder, opening up another gash. And last person to go was Krieg, so I need a 1d6 roll for Tavern Chaos.
All right. 4.
Give me a dex save.
5. Great. So that's a no.
You will see this really skinny, lanky man run past you, Quinn, this bottle of liquor in his hand. He quickly throws it back, just filling his mouth full of this. He gargles out, sort of grabs a small little bit of matches, strikes it across as he just spews this flame. You see he's talking about something about getting the sky for you, Krieg, as this flame just washes over top of you and him. As this guy breathes out. 6 points of fire damage as he stumbles forth and just face plants at your feet.
Oh, man.
Up next is Mortlock. He will step in with this club. Ouch. That's a nat 20. This man that was in front of Mortlock, these small little gashes doesn't seem to faze this huge guy too much as he finally gets this grip, just two-handed grip, and brings it smashing straight down on top of this man's head. You'll see his neck collapse, his legs buckle underneath him, and he just crumples to the ground, one solid blow. Blood already spilling out from the cracked skull around him. You'll see Mortlock's grin, a bit of a chuckle. And the second guy that is the big, huge, Malachi. So, I'm going to say Malachi might recognize him, kind of points out. He calls them consuls. Not quite sure how he knows this, but he mentions that you guys need to get these consuls out because they have commanding orders. And again, this other man who's in front of you, Krieg, marks out something, and behind him, these other black leather people go into action again, making another attack on Mortlock, again hitting. As he takes another huge gash right across his chest. And then he's going to flail again at you, Krieg. That's a 13. I think that's a miss.
Yeah, that misses. Clink.
Once more of these guys surrounding Mortlock, quickly just surrounding him, gaining an advantage, just picking him apart with these little dagger strikes. As he is hit again. Up next. Oh, he's not there. Quinn, you are up. You can see these two huge, what Malachi calls consoles, starting to surround Krieg, basically blocking you guys from reaching Mortlock as these three little two now just start nickel and diming them. Just tiny little gashes all over.
All right, and is there any left in the grease, or?
No. Well, yes, one is. He hasn't acted yet, but
Okay, yeah.
he's still prone on the ground.
I'm going to find the bigger, baddest, uninjured guy. And once I have him locked on, I'm going to reach into my component pouch and pull out a snake's tongue and drip a bit of sweet oil onto it and start channeling these arcane words. And then I'm going to look at him in the eyes and tell him that he's actually a marathon swimmer and he's supposed to be doing as many laps in the dock as he possibly can do right now. And he needs to make a wisdom saving throw as I cast suggestion.
He's 10.
That is a
Assuming
fail.
it's a fail.
So I am telling him that he has to go swim as far as he possibly can.
Is that a savey Tron thing, or?
Nope, that is, he does it for either 8 hours or until he does what I just told him to do.
Beautiful. So yes, he will kind of turn, running up these stairs, slipping, falling, sliding amongst them as he makes his way up. The other one, kind of confused on where his friend is going. You'll see him leap off the docks, out the port window, into the water. The splash can be awfully hard in his heavy plate mail armor, but he is swimming like a champ for the moment. Tavern Chaos again. I need a 1d6 roll from Quinn.
I don't want it. 5.
You will see this man who was on the ground in front of Krieg roll over and start quickly trying to pat himself as his chest is on fire. Little sparks go across. Hits some empty alcohol bottles along the floor. His things just start to roar into flames. Give me a 1d10.
Nope. 8.
Quickly begin to spread across the floor as this building is 8% on fire.
Not again. No.
Up last is that last guy who was caught in the grease, but he will just use his turn action to get up. So, new round. And
If he ends his turn in the grease for the record, he needs to make the save again.
okay, remind me on his turn then. And up first is the Iron Council. This guy in front of you, Krieg, and he barks out an order telling these guys behind him once more to just begin to push the attack as they're going to attack Mortlock. Get a... This one will sort of work in his way around the back side of Mortlock, and you see him in that brief second, Krieg, as he leaps up, and this time he just buries the blade right into the back of Mortlock's neck, digging deep down in. And the man will stumble a little bit, dropping down to one knee as this one seems to hit hard. And they quickly press the advantage. The man in front of you is going to swing his mace for 11, 14.
Oh yeah, against me, that's a hit.
For 7 points of damage. Oof, and I need Tavern Chaos again, so give me a 1d6 roll. Or no, he already had the fire, so 1d10 roll, Krieg.
D10. 4.
As it begins to spread to 12% of the tavern. See a few start looking around your heels. Most of it is on the far side of the room, yet though crawling across the wall towards the casks of ale and liquor. And that is the fist that is in the grease, so he needs to make a save. And he gets a 4-7, so he is prone again.
Slips back from underneath him.
Up next, Krieg. Give me a 1d10% or 1d10 roll.
Okay. Oh shit, it's a 6 this time.
So up to 18%, and you are up.
All right. Definitely swinging again at this guy. Yeah, I'm just going to swing. I think bonus action's being saved for something else right now. That is probably a miss. That's a total of 8.
That is a miss.
And I would like to bonus action second wind to kind of scoop some HP back.
Go for it.
Okay, so that's
Next.
5 plus 3, so that's 8 hit points.
Up next is this leather-clad guy still burying his dagger into Mortlock's shoulder, and he hits again. Mortlock needs armor. You guys should have invested in getting him some.
If he doesn't die, yeah.
There's another blade. As he takes out another blade, buries it into his back collarbone. Mortlock's going to stumble forward once more. And the fist is... Oh, he's the one that's dead, so he's out of there. Up next is Mithra. You see, one guy is on the ground at Mortlock's feet trying to get up from the grease. The other one is just burying daggers in his back. And there's just one large console in front of Krieg, mace in hand.
I'm going to try and hit him with Firebolt.
Go for it.
Quinn's gonna yell out, "No more fire!"
Too bad. No, are you actually being serious, Quinn? Are you worried?
There's a lot of alcohol spilling around, so you would probably want to warn her, Quinn, but I don't know if she would listen.
I'm pretty...
How far away is he from me?
About 30 feet.
Okay, let me see as I'm looking through my spell book really quick and I'm thinking,
Pulls out her spell book, starts flipping. I have something for this. I know.
Okay, I'm gonna hit him with magic missile.
Alright.
So that's an auto hit.
Yep.
I'm gonna use that level 2, so 2d4 plus 1 force damage.
4d4.
Oh.
Yeah, it's normally 3, you get one more, so it's going to be 44.
Okay, sorry, I'm going to check. On my sheet it says 1d4 plus 1. So it should be 3d4.
Yeah, level 1 is 3d4, and then it's plus 1 more per level of...
Yeah, okay, I gotcha. So, 4, 2, 5, and 5.
Blast after blast hits this guy. He'll stumble back a little bit. These scorch marks covering his body, these open wounds. He is still standing, but not looking good at all. And I need a 1d10 roll from you, Mithra.
Seven.
Gotcha. It's 25% of the room is in flames. 1/4, Quinn, you are up.
All right. I want to, I'm trying to think of what I want to say here. Do I know where the kitchen is in this?
Oh, yeah, it's on the backside. Yeah, you would have seen the pancakes and everything coming out of there.
Can I make my way over to there without provoking opportunity attacks?
Yep, because it's behind you.
I'm going to do that then, and then yell back to the chef that we need flour for the fire. I think that works, right? Flour puts out fire. We need a lot of flour. Do you have any pancake mix left? And then I'm going to shoot a blast of Ray of Frost. Icy beams shoot from my hand. And I accidentally rolled that advantage there, so I'm not going to take that. And 6 is my lowest. Or I guess I am going to take it because I'll spend my inspiration to get a total of 18 with my inspiration spent.
Who's that against?
Just another big boy.
Yep,
There's 2 injured ones now?
There's 2 injured, smaller ones in the leather, and there's just the 1 big guy left who's slightly injured.
All right, slightly injured big guy is taking a total of 6 more cold damage as a ray shoots through my hand, freezing his chest.
Give me a 1d10 roll.
All right, does any pancake cook respond to me?
Yeah, they got lots of flour.
2.
20. So. Yeah, you'll see a young girl and a few other people back there trying to put out their own flames that are starting to spread there, but they will get a couple sacks of flour and come running out with it. Mortlock is up. He quickly tries to grab, so kind of swinging his club behind him, trying to hit this guy that is just burying the daggers in his back, just swinging wildly. From where you're at, Krieg, and I guess even the others, you can see he's quite badly injured and can't get a hold on this smaller, quicker individual as he misses completely. And he needs to roll d10. As the flames continue to go 31%. I need everybody to give me a dex save at 13, DC 13.
What is with us in burning fucking buildings? I made a save.
Yep, I made that one. Right on the button.
Me too, actually.
What's your total, Mithra?
Oh, sorry, 18. I'm good, right?
You're good.
Cool.
Let's stay out of the way of these flames quickly, kind of dancing amongst them. And I will just put in 1 for the flower. Alright, first up, flames. Krieg, give me a 1d10 roll.
Poor Krieg. All his hair's gonna burn off. That's a 7.
38.
More importantly, his beard's gonna burn off.
Next is the Iron Council in front of you, Krieg, and he is going to bark out an order behind him for this other guy to make his attack, so he will go on Mortlock first. Again, nailing him. Just slowly picking away at this huge man who drops down, one hand on the ground. You can see he's bleeding out everywhere around him, Krieg. And then he's going to swing his flail at you with a 15.
Yep, that'll hit.
6 plus 3, so 9 points of damage.
Ooh, boy, am I glad I got that HP back. I was sitting at 9 before that second wind.
Mithra, you are up. These flames sort of tickling around. You can see Mortlock is down on the ground, bleeding everywhere. Mad Krieg is not looking good either. There's a couple boys with flour coming out of the back room, though.
Okay, so who's in more, like, Mortlock and Krieg both aren't looking good?
Mortlock has probably more health than Krieg does, but he's
okay.
not good.
I'm gonna go over to Krieg and see if I can stabilize him and help him.
Are you still up, Krieg?
Yeah, I'm still up.
I can't give him any health, but can I do anything for him, or?
Not unless you had like a healing potion or something to heal him with.
Okay, who's in the closest vicinity to Mortlock and Krieg? Like, who's coming after them?
Mortlock has 2 smaller fellows with black leather on them, and then Krieg just has the one huge guy in chainmail and plate.
Okay,
The one that you were magic missiling is pretty badly injured.
okay, I'm gonna... How close is the one that I really badly injured?
He's about 30 feet away, but you'd have to get past the council, so you'd get an opportunity if you're going to run towards him or anything.
I'd get
He's
an
about 30
opportunity attack?
Yeah, from the council that you're passing by.
Or, sorry, they'd get an opportunity to attack me. Oh.
Yep.
Okay, sorry. I guess I'll cast Chromatic Orb on Actually, you know what? I'm going to use a magic missile again, but I'm going to aim only one missile at that one and one at the other guy.
Okay.
So, oh, it's an auto hit. I'm just going to use it at level 1.
Okay. So
So
one bolt on
3
the
darts.
injured guy.
Alright, so on the injured one, we've got a 4.
Yep, that'll take him out.
And then the other guy, sorry, what's the other one that's closest to him?
The other leather-clad guy who's actually caught in the grease on the ground still, but he hasn't been hurt really.
Okay, he gets 5.
Got it.
Plus, I'll aim one more at him, plus 4.
Got it. He gets pelted a few times. Up next is that guy who's going to take his turn to stand up. Oh, he needs a save, though, for the grease. That would be a 15.
He actually makes a save at the end of his turn. So he can stand back up and take his turn regularly, and then if he ends his turn in it, he needs to make the save again.
Okay, so I'll just use the 12 for the attack, which does hit Mortlock. Oof. He'll quickly swing across as Mortlock looks up, this huge cut right across one of his eyes, down his lip. You just see part of his jaw hang loose, his cheek. As he opens up this thing, Mortlock will drop his club and just quickly reaches up to his face, trying to hold it together. Now he'll make his save with a nat 1 as he falls on his ass again.
Best grease spell ever.
Krieg, you are up. You can see Mortlock is just bleeding everywhere on the ground.
Yeah, I need to get this big dude out of my way, because I can't heal him unless I can get in to touch him. I've got this freaking linebacker in my way. So I think actually Krieg is just going to kind of like look at this guy, and bang his sword onto his shield and tell him, "Back off!" And I think as he slams the blade onto the shield that has a symbol of Tempest, it's going to kind of like spark or like shoot this bright golden flash off of it. And let's see if this guiding bolt spell casts at him. That's a total 19 to hit.
That hits.
Yes! So this beam of like golden light like spills out from that impact of the shield, and it's going to hit the guy for 46 damage. Let's see here. 17 radiant damage. Blasts into this guy, and then he's kind of like, after it hits, it's just kind of like this pulsing of golden light until the beginning of my next round. So any other attacks against him get advantage.
Ooh, nice.
Anybody else that hits him for the end.
All right. Yeah, that will take a huge chunk as this huge scorch mark covers his chest, and blood starts to dribble through his chinks in his armor. It's been all sort of mutilated a little bit. I need a 1d10 roll from Mithra and Mad Krieg. I forgot to get it from Mithra. Oh, she's not here, but so why don't you roll twice, Krieg?
Okay. I think Krieg is probably a little surprised at that as it fires off.
Don't let Krieg roll. He keeps rolling high.
Shit. All right. Well, I rolled a 2 and I rolled a 10.
Aww.
50% of this place goes up. You can see the flames look across, hit this grease, and just roar up the side of the stairwell, blocking the one main entrance out of this place as it quickly starts to burn.
Oh, shit.
Mortlock is up, and he is just flailing, trying to get this guy off. Ooh, he will hit with that one, though. Seeing his club on the ground, he'll reach back, grabbing a hold of this guy that is next to him, who once again fell prone, and just picks him up, swinging him around almost by the feet, slamming him into a wall. You hear the crack of this guy's neck as he hurls the body to the side to burn into the flames. And he'll slowly sort of crawl around, just blood pouring down his face, blinding him for the most part, feeling around for his club, his hand wrapping around the hilt of it, sort of snaps over, looking in your direction. Krieg. And he's got a roll a d10. Would you look at that? He rolled a 9, 59%.
Oh, man.
Up next, Quinn.
How badly beat up is this big linebacker Iron Council?
He's pretty bad.
All right, if I run up to him, there's one other guy left too?
Well, yeah, but he'll die on his turn because he knocked him down to 1 hit point and he's in the flames, so he's not.
Because what I want to do then is go up to the next to the big Iron Council and position myself kind of close towards the fire too, if I can. And then I'm going to see if you're going to let me get away with this. But then I will begin to channel the words for frostbite. And basically what I do is create this numbing frost to form all around me in a 5-foot radius. So he needs to make a Constitution saving throw.
Ooh. 3, so 6.
So he takes a total of 5 cold damage and has disadvantage on his next attack if he's still alive. But I was also hoping that I could use some of that numbing frost to counteract the fire and maybe knock it down some percentile too.
What is the normal damage on it?
It's a d6, so I rolled a 5 damage.
So do a d6%.
Take this, 5 again.
That's down to 54.
Nice play. Nice play.
Now roll me a 1d10 for its spreading.
Oh god, I don't think I can battle this. Come on, hey, 2. I made a gang there.
56. Cool. And the fist is going to just die in the fire because he won't fall anyway. And finally, the flower boys will run out, spreading their flower on the flames. And the last
Go, my flower
turn.
boys, go.
I'll give them. I'm going to say a d20. 6 knocks it back down to 50%. And with that, it's the end of round. I need dexterity saving throws from everybody with a DC of 16 this time. Oh, 15.
Quinn's going to yell that we need to get Mortlock and get out of here. Oh, Quinn, why did you roll so bad?
Failed.
Failed also. My run was done.
All right. Total 10. I don't know if you need it.
15.
You are good, but the other 2 you guys take 2d6. Plus 1, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 points of fire damage.
Oh, I don't need that in my life.
Yep. Creek drops.
Oh,
was
Mortlock saves, so he is up still. End of the round. First turn, Mortlock. He'll slowly get up, just bleeding everywhere, coming up behind the Siren Council. This huge swing and a whiff as he completely misses. I'm rolling really bad for him.
Is it poison fire, by chance?
No, it is not. Good try, though. And he rolls an 8 for the sling, so it's up to 58. And Mithra, you are up. The only person left standing is the Siren Council in front of Krieg, quite badly injured, as the flames are just roaring around you, though.
Can I yell to the rest of the party, or are they already gone?
Nope, they're all here.
Should we grab him and bring him with us, or are we just gonna get out of here?
I'm going to yell, take out the Iron Council, or take out the asshole.
Alright, I'm gonna stab him with my dagger, and then I'm gonna run.
Go for it.
I'm gonna pull out my silver dagger and stab him, just clean across the neck. And then I'm gonna turn and run. Actually, can I check his body?
We gotta give him an attack roll first.
Oh, sorry. What's my modifier on that?
Strength.
Okay.
Dagger would be
Proficiency. Yeah, proficiency too.
So 16 plus. Sorry. 1. 17?
17 does not hit.
What's plus proficiency?
Dagger is a simple weapon, right? So she would be
it's
plus
so
2 you should have. Or
Yeah,
plus 3 total.
yeah, plus 2.
So in that case, yes, it does hit.
Cool.
Damage
So
should be like 1d4, I think.
I'm gonna slice his neck, and then I'm gonna get the hell away from the flames.
Give me a 1d4 damage roll.
4.
And he's still up, but he's you'll be right up next to him. Give me a 1d10 roll, Mithra.
What's it mean when it lands on the 0?
That means a 10.
Oh.
That's what I
Okay.
love. 68%. And next is the council, as he's just going to swing madly at you, Krieg, because you're standing there.
I'm down.
Oh, you're down, so he will turn then, swing towards Mortlock, and he is going to hit, and yes, these 3 spiked balls at the end of this flail will come around. One of the chains will wrap around Mortlock's neck as the other 2 come crashing down on the back of his head. You're going to see Mortlock crumple down across alongside Krieg on the ground with these flames looking across them, both of them. And with that, the council will turn, sort of panicked, looking around, but seeing there's really no escape, he's willing to fight to the end. So he's just going to reach over, stomping across Krieg's, take 1 death penalty. Mark Krieg, as he runs towards you, Quinn.
He's actually right beside me, so technically he could have swung at me first.
Oh, I forgot you were up there. Mortlock was more of a threat, so he'll just turn towards you then. Tavern Chaos is up, so who's the last person to go? Mithra, give me 1d10. 9.
9.
77%. Is 3/4 of this place is just engulfed in flames around you. You can feel it licking at your robes, burning at your feet. Krieg's hair is burning slowly towards his skull. His beard is a little flicker of flame at the end. Mortlock's skin sizzles and pops. And the fist is dead, so he's out. Quinn, you are up.
Fracker. How is this guy not dead yet? That's actually so obnoxious. Fuck. I'm gonna get. What is Malachi doing in all this?
Supervising.
Supervising that son of a bitch. What the fuck?
I don't have his sheet or anything to do anything with him, so
yeah,
I just took out a few enemies. And
can I just tell him to get Krieg out of here?
yeah, I can have him start dragging Krieg away.
All right. Then I am going to just say to him, hey, remember that time in the back alleyway, what we used to do with the old dishwater for fun, to Malachi? And then I'm going to, this might be stupid, you can tell me if it's too stupid, but I'm going to cast Grease, hopefully under the bodies of Krieg and Mortlock, and then create a 10-foot, because it's a 10-foot radius, from them to the door.
The door is covered by flames. You're going to have to find, or run through the flames or find another way out.
Now, technically, the grease isn't flammable in any way, so if I, just splattered a whole lot of grease all over the place, would it potentially put out, a line? It actually says in the spell that the grease is not flammable.
So, yeah, in that case.
And then I'm going to risk, this is really stupid, this is where it gets really stupid, I'm going to risk an opportunity attack, so let's see if I get knocked out.
By the council, I take it.
Yeah.
Feel
free to miss me.
I forget what my number is. 12 plus 5 is 17.
Yeah, that's going to do it. Just don't knock me out then.
6 plus 3, so 4.
Still conscious. And then I'm going to take a running back pedal and then just charge and hopefully use whoever's in the front actually as a slip and slide and just try to use their dead unconscious body to slip right through out of the fire.
Give me an acrobatics.
All right. Jesus, take the dice. Oh, does anyone have inspiration to give me? Please, for the love of God.
I do.
All right, I desperately need it.
All right, you can have it.
All right. Hey, unnatural 20.
Beautiful. So go ahead and describe whose body you use for the slip and slide out the door.
Who's closest to the door?
Well, let me see. Who is Krieg? I'll say Malachi is going to grab Krieg then.
Yeah, so I will just run then and I'll grab onto Mortlock's shoulders, just kind of tackling him into the ground and then just grab onto him and ride him out like a slip and slide. Tumbling out into the dock district and just say, we got to get out of here.
Go ahead and give me a 1d10 roll for your
No, fuck. Roll low. 4.
81%. And Flower Boys would be last again, convenient for them. And I roll a 4, so it knocks it back down to 77. Only people left in here, besides a few patrons who are trying to get the hell out, is Mithra and the council. The council passes his save, so he's going to take, I need a dex save, Mithra. Oh, what is it going to be? Verse 18 this time. Oops, you're muted.
I have to beat 18?
Yep.
Oh, I can already tell you that didn't happen. Yeah, 13.
This is the 4th round. 16 points of fire damage, Mithra.
Whoa, what the hell?
And you guys will see a few other people quickly running out of this thing behind you, Quinn Krieg. If you look back, you'll see Mithra engulfed in flames around. Are you still up, Mithra?
Barely, but yeah.
Okay. This council's going to just burn down in front of you. He only had 1 hit point and he failed. So quickly engulfed in flames and hits the ground. You guys get out of these flames with Krieg and with Mortlock. Only one left in there is you, Mithra. You can try to escape out the door. I'll need a dex save. But
I'll try and escape, I guess.
go for it. It is going to be the same thing again, 18.
Malachi technically has inspirations left if she needs it.
Oh, fuck. That's an unnatural 20.
So she will run out, flames licking at her hair, her
Actually,
robes.
unnatural 21.
She will come through, well, not looking good probably, but she will pour out. Flower Boys behind her and a few other patrons will stumble out. You know that there's still people inside there, but the whole place, well, everybody give me a 1d10 roll. See if it hits 100%. Or...
Oh,
Definitely.
man.
Hey, 1. Where was that later earlier on?
I rolled an 8.
8.
Oh, shit.
17.
So it'd be 96%. Close enough as you guys see this place is almost completely engulfed. You know there's still a few people in there. You can hear their screams inside, but there's just no way to get to them.
Oh, man. This is why we can't have nice things. Instead of nice someplace, it burns to the ground.
Yeah, we burn down buildings proficiently.
And I'm going to say Quinn. You kind of think about all these helpless people inside there. How many times now between Dara and those people and the other folks that were in that barn that burned down, it seems to be this recurring theme that you just can't seem to save these people no matter what you try to do. And one part of you wants to think you have that badass edge and you don't really care. But there's that other side that seems to conflict and seems to grate a little bit no matter what you try. Give me I'm going to say a purity save.
All right. I rolled a natural 15, and my purity's currently at 12, which I think is a plus 1.
Yeah. So I'll let you play it out. So then it nags at you. You're not going to take any corruption or anything, but how do you take this?
In the heat of the moment, I think that's the only reason why it doesn't catch her, is that she's just focused on getting the party out. And then as they come, like, tumbling out of the grease, probably, like, slipping right off a dock into the water and keeping afloat the bodies, she doesn't have time to think about it, but I imagine the screams of the people that are dying in there register in her mind, and that's going to come and visit her later on tonight when she tries to go to sleep.
Yes, you guys will all hear the screams as this boat sinks into the water. Out in the distance, you can see the floundering of an Iron Council in full plate drowning away. beneath the waves.
I'm concentrating on that for the full 8 hours. That motherfucker's going for a swim.
As we will end it there for the evening then.
Hey, that was a really fun
Man.
session.
That was brutal
Yeah,
at the end.
that was cool.
Man,